When last we left our heroes, who would like to do the recap? I can do it if needed.
Lysander ruined everything.
We all got together.
Yep.
We met up at your place.
Mm-hmm. After some
New art school.
arguments.
Yeah, well, we met up at the Inn and Tavern in Alagon. And then we came back to Voxley.
Because I made the mistake of sending a letter saying, "Hey guys, maybe I'm going to be a little late."
And so we met up at your place and had a nice evening, and then a god showed up, and Huss was very nervous. And
Nobody died.
Yes.
Yeah.
because you know, like of all things, it had to be a Fey god who are notably capricious. You know, like Huss would have had an easier time with anything but a Fey god.
So did Lysander. That's how he had made a deal with the devil.
He might get turned into a tree.
Yeah, powerful and capricious is not a fun. At least lawful evil, you know where you stand. You know?
Apparently he's more into statues.
Only
than trees, so
only
you're
suckers get turned into statues.
Wait, but you're a statue already. You're a mutant.
Anyway,
Yep.
and you made your arrangements. They were kind of finalized.
Yep.
You almost accidentally drank a drink you shouldn't have drank.
Okay, drink and drank.
That was fun.
And then
So you decided to bind yourself to the Fey God, right? Was that the resolution?
Yes, he decided to not take the buyout that Oberon was offering.
Yeah. Okay.
He decided that working with Oberon and gaining power was better than not working with Oberon and watching his back for devils the rest of his life.
before then, we chased off a bit of criminal element that wanted to hone in on your action.
Yes.
We didn't.
Alex's game.
When did the agent of the Desert Baddies show up? That was early. Did he
that was
leave
early.
before we arrived?
As far as I...
You guys have not crossed paths.
Right. So it's like I knew that Theo hadn't. I couldn't remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Not
far,
Theo. Jesmal.
So far, he is not... He does not know that you're here as far as we know. So,
I met him.
we're probably safe.
You met him,
We got to exchange threatening banter.
Oh, yeah.
which was so much fun.
Yes.
And, Theo, basically just antagonizing her until she got pissed off and was like, I stand up. Well, I stand up.
Gunshot.
Flying across the
Yes.
Then there was, after the meeting with the god, there was one other thing that happened.
And what was that? I'm trying to remember.
Stelmane. Someone came from Stelmane to invite us to
Oh,
her
yeah,
place.
Nanarin popped in. She was drunk.
Oh, it was the
Oh,
Naren,
yeah.
yes.
Nanarin popped in and she gave you guys a scroll.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Which was the invitation to see somebody back in Alagon, right?
Mm-hmm.
It
You
wasn't-
guys didn't actually get to read the scroll. I made it after, but this is what she would have given
That
you.
was the same time.
What was it? Our
She's
erstwhile
handed us a
patron?
Lady Stelmane?
Let me something.
Yes.
Alright.
Okay.
Go ahead and you can read the scroll.
I'm trying to get it off because
Just slide it off.
I'm working on it. I don't want to break it.
It's a cheap-ass ribbon.
Okay, do you want me to just... Okay, feats
No,
of strength, feats of strength,
You
got it.
slide it like this.
Okay, well, now
Count
I've
the
ruined
end.
I've ruined it. Oh, right. No, you tied it too tight.
This is all in character.
There.
Ruin a
I just
dramatic
mage
moment.
handed. No.
Nanarin is blitzed out of her mind, by the way.
Yes.
Oh, jeez, yeah. Okay, so...
Super charming.
She and
Yeah, I know, right, buddy?
she and Joff headed off to get drunk.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. This is a little bit of a retcon
Oh.
to have the scroll.
So this also works perfectly if Chop's not going to be here. He's on drunken escapades. Shield of Orlane. You are cordially invited to attend a dinner party at Lady Stelmane's estate upon the 38th of Marpanath. That's how you pronounce it?
Yes.
Thank you. In the year 218 KF. I don't actually know how this year system works, but perfect.
It's okay, guys. We have a year to get there.
218 is the current year. KF is Korma Foundation.
Oh, okay.
In the Korma Kingdom, when it was founded.
Appetizers and socializing will occur at 7 bells. Dinner will be served at 8 bells. Formal wear mandatory, white tie optional.
I missed that part.
Sir Kildrake.
Like I said, this scroll wasn't around last
Major
time.
Domo? Major Domo?
Major Domo.
was
Arigato.
a title.
Arigato.
That's
This
not
is
how that works.
35th of Marpanath 218. So, we got 3 days.
No.
No,
that
wait, we
letter.
have 2 days.
Today is the 37th.
Crap, we gotta run.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Today is the 36th. Tomorrow will be the 37th.
Sorry, crap, we gotta run.
It is
Either way.
evening of the 36th.
I was kind of imagining just
And
a
it's
mad
on the
race.
38th.
And it's on the 30th.
Mad race to the party. Oh no!
Well, I think the plan was to hit the road in the morning anyway.
Yeah.
Formal wear though. Okay.
After shopping.
Yes.
Shopping? Do we have to? I don't have to go shopping.
No.
You, if you want to use your disguising.
I could do that all.
Well, do you want?
Nanarin is there. You kind of already talked to her about meeting with her out of the gate to Alagon in the morning.
Right.
At which point she went off with Joff and got blitzed.
And then other things happened.
Yes, please tell me what those other things were.
No. I mean, like with Joff specifically.
Yes.
Did he get
We
arrested?
see. Okay.
No,
we,
he got laid.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Oh, we almost thought that he was sleeping in here.
Which is not
We-
accurate.
And it ended badly.
The bulk of us stayed at your place, right?
Tomorrow. Yeah. Tavern. No, at the outer school.
Yeah,
that's
at the artist's
It
place.
was free
Free.
housing. Right?
Yeah.
Freeze for me. And you.
You probably got a couple of drinks at a bar somewhere else.
Bring home a walker.
A walker? Are you old now? Sorry.
So, to my knowledge, everything has been squared away over on Lysander's end, such that people will be taking care of the place while he's gone.
Yeah, you'd
Including
left
his
the
wife. Oh yeah, there was that old
Yes.
detail.
She's running the joint, right?
Yeah.
Lysander's wife Hermia will be taking your position temporarily
Yeah.
and working with your second in command, Demetrius.
He was also a pretty cool guy.
Is he?
Apparently he's
Is he?
What the hell?
No, apparently he's perfectly fine.
There we go.
He's like a smaller.
That wasn't supposed to happen. Yeah.
It was supposed to be Main Street of a bustling town.
Oh. She was getting freaked out by the wolf. So.
She's pretending.
Oh. Okay.
This is more appropriate to what you guys would be hearing right around.
Okay.
Just hear battle music. Go. Should we get our swords out?
So yeah, basically, we were all sorted. We just came back here to get you.
And now we can head back.
And now you've got an invitation by Nanarin,
Right.
who you guys do remember was working for Stelmane while Stelmane was under the control of the Mind Flayer.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. She works for the she works for the mercenaries that Stelmane engaged, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was some question about whether or not she had created the mercenaries or was just a part of them. They were named after her dead sister.
Oh, that's right. Although she seems not the type to have a leadership role.
She doesn't. She has a good second in command, just like Jim Raynor.
So what you're saying is that she came up with a cool name and then went, "All right, you guys do this. I'm gonna go to the bar."
It's a lot of founders. That's really what they do, you know.
It was a cool name. Okay, so yeah. So I guess if nothing else happens, morning falls.
Yeah.
Morning rises.
This is at night. Yeah.
Yes. You all
Morning fall.
You all find your way back to the Artist Guild, or you are there currently. Beds are provided. They are like a common room with a bunch of bunk beds set up. Like not even really good bunk beds, like lower grade purchase. So that way he can have bulk beds. Bulk
Yes,
of
I'm
bunk
sure.
beds.
Yeah.
You guys
Hammocks.
bed down for the night. Wake up in
Probably
the morning.
They're all made out of like reused potato sacks.
Once
put
you've
yourself in
Oh,
theirs?
oh, sorry.
yes.
Just realized, other note that I took down during the last session, we told Hermia about the location and the location of the traps of
Oh,
the
yeah.
safe house that Joff set up in case she has to run there
Yes.
and meet us.
Yes.
So she'll send word, she'll run there, and then I guess we collect her, and hopefully she's in one piece. Sorry, just
Yes.
in case that comes up.
Joff reminded you that he has a safe house now, 2 hours to the east of Orlane, near the coast.
Deadly traps. Very deadly traps.
Yes.
I don't know what his definition of deadly is. That's the thing. It could just be, I don't know.
The deadliest.
Thinking like plush bears dropping from the ceiling.
So, you wake up in the morning. Some of you wake up earlier than others.
I'm more hungover than others.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's actually possible the robes I got from my tribe might count as formal wear, but maybe not. I don't know how beat up they
You
were.
left them with Tristan.
Oh yes, I did for the mark of rank. Couldn't remember. I took the totem. I took a totem from my The Bannock.
Yeah.
Totally.
Peoples.
You left the royal robes and the scepter staff with Tristan as part of the Bannock clan, because you seceded position of the Bannock clan to have control over the entirety.
Yes.
So you are still dressed in your ratty traveler's clothes.
Yes, as ratty as ever.
Mending.
So, and I can't remember, are we in the bigger city right now or the smaller of the two?
We're in the
Smaller town.
Boxley Island.
We're in the small town
Sorry.
of Boxley Allen.
Large town.
The hamlet
Not
of
a city.
Boxley Allen.
The village of Boxley Allen.
The mega city of Boxley.
I will fight every one of you at once.
The horse stable of Boxley.
The closet.
Yeah, you are in the town of Voxley Allen. Glitterers, each of you are accompanied by one glitterer currently. You are still in talks for being released from supervision.
Mm-hmm.
There was some difficulty with
Something that we weren't told about. Yeah.
something, yeah, some sort of huge arcane spike in the city that nobody has any memory about.
Yes,
Right.
I wrote that down. Major spike in power, but no one confessed to being the responsible one.
So we could probably tell it was a gun touching down on material plane.
Could be.
I'm just guessing, because
Good.
that sounds like the inciting event that would do it.
There was some discussion about that matter.
Okay.
So, I'm trying to figure out if I'm better off shopping for formal clothes.
Is bear considered a formal dress?
You'd have a variety of places to look in.
Alagon.
Viral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alagon is the population of 100,000 people. There are lots of shops there.
That's probably better. I mean, part of me wants to shop somewhere small, but I probably also want choices.
Okay. So we ride
book.
at speed.
At speed?
So we're gonna head for the wagon. So you presumably say your goodbyes. I at least do. Say goodbyes to Hermia.
That is her name.
Hey.
You're much better than Lysander.
What? No, what?
He was halfway out the door and I pulled him back in and say goodbye to Hermia.
I did not say that. I was waiting my turn to do what I did. But no, yeah. Lysander says his goodbyes to Hermia and is kind of reticent about leaving, but yeah.
She's reticent about you leaving as well. She gives you very long, tender kiss and tries to keep you a little bit longer, just like for a second.
Okay, goodbye. Oh, by the way, this thing. So my family at
Yeah.
every single Christmas.
I mean, on the upside, as far as Hermia's concerned, she just recently saw you.
Oh,
So
yeah.
So
It's been
I
a
lost you
rocky
once. I
couple
don't want to
days.
lose you again.
she's not fully aware of the fact that it's been.
It's been.
She's aware of the fact, but she is not quite mentally wrapped her head around losing 10 years.
You didn't lose
In the blink of an
it was
eye.
just paused.
You were paused and the world ticked
Oh,
on.
wait, she didn't lose any years though. She still has the 10 years to live. It's just transposed slightly.
Yes. It was cropped out and put to the end of the time.
10 years of memory.
Bye, honey. I'll get you pizza on the way back.
Is she an elf too? Do I remember that?
No, she's a human.
Okay.
Very attractive human.
So technically, this is a good thing for me because no. Yeah, elves and humans, it gets a little weird with the relationship.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's
pretty
the
weird.
vampire human thing.
Remember,
All your friends age and die if you're a vampire.
Immortal is the more general term for that, but yeah. You have a nice, heartfelt goodbye. She tells you to take care, don't get into any trouble, make sure you change your clothes daily, knocks the dust off.
when did you turn into so much of a housewife?
Fine, go fucking die then.
Don't worry, I'll bring you trouble too.
You
Didn't take very long for the joyous reunion to go south.
No, this is just normal me.
Banter.
Yeah.
Yes, banter's important.
and Hermie has always kind of been his more clever half.
Yes. That's why I said, you're better than Lysander. I like you better than Lysander.
Lysander
Yes.
dies instantly, and Hermia joins the campaign.
Hermia joins the party. So you have your heartfelt goodbye. She gives each of you a nice to meet you, goodbye type send off.
Mm-hmm.
She literally met you yesterday.
Yes. We're strangers.
Yes. You guys leave. You make your way towards the stables. Jasmine seems somewhat quiet. She's playing around with Lysander too. And your wagon is set up, locked in. I'm assuming you kind of swung by and told them you were leaving earlier. They got it all set up. Horse is raring to go. Esmeralda, and her wagon is cleaned and ready to go. Wheels are reinforced thanks to Haas over time. And
Mending.
then you're just kind of waiting for a little bit because Nanarin doesn't seem to have the same punctuality that you do.
Oh, we're supposed to meet her?
You were going to meet her.
Are we supposed to, or can we just leave?
You could just leave. You said you were going to meet her. She's now gotten to the point where she is considered late.
Gonna have to track her down at some point.
You know where she is?
She was with Joff, right? Should we check?
Briefly, I think they split up.
Should we check the local jail?
Joff showed up on time.
Oh.
Hungover,
Oh, sorry, you hadn't mentioned. Okay.
hair matted, clothes in a bundle under his arm, but he showed up.
Walk of shame.
A little bit.
Stride of pride. When did you last see Nanarin?
He says when we agreed to go get Blitz together.
Okay, so earlier in the night.
He says we had a lot to drink, and I don't quite remember the rest of the night.
Right. Hence the walk of shame.
And there.
Okay, so how long does it take to get to Elegon again? A day?
About day traveling?
A day by wagon, day and a half by foot.
We're taking wagons, so.
So we have to leave by enough time to get there, travel there, and buy clothes and get there by 7 bells.
We can.
Which I'm assuming is 7 p.m.
What, not taking
We
showers?
can probably give her another half an hour, I suppose.
Okay.
What time is it? How many bells? How do they do before noon?
Vox
Do
the
they have a
Allen
noon?
does not function on the bell system.
Okay.
Vox the Allen functions doesn't even really have a sense of time.
Do we happen to have? Does
Well, I
anyone
mean,
have a
sun up,
watch?
sun down.
Yes.
Noon.
Days.
Was that a watch?
Nobody has a watch.
How do I roll for sense of time?
Survival.
Wait, seriously?
Or take a feat. Seriously.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, one of the feats.
I mean, it
I
makes
got an
sense.
nat 20.
You
Okay,
know.
I.
I got nat 20. 27.
What is going on?
Why
at
did
this-
you guys decide to waste your nat 20s now?
the
Do you have any
sound
idea
beep.
what I'm planning for you? You are able to tell instantly
I just like
that
to
it
roll
is like
dice.
8 o'clock in the morning.
So,
Well, given that she's late, it's 8:15 in the
Aye.
morning.
so minor illusion. Clock appears.
I've
You
no
have never
idea
seen a
what
clock
that is.
before.
What have I seen that would approximate this?
Hourglass.
A candle
Oh, a
with
sand
nails set in at varying segments of time.
That makes sense, I guess. Okay, so we're at about 8:15. Yeah, I could wait around. Not so sure. Should we wait?
Do we know where to find her if we wanted to find her?
I don't think she'll have to contact her.
Well, I mean, we can give her a little time because we did say we'd meet her here.
Okay, let's.
And I tracked her down to some thieves' den once, right?
Yeah, when you spotted her outside the tavern, you chased her as a dire wolf and pinned her.
Finish chewing and then
That was in Alagon.
Oh, it wasn't Vox.
So we have to go to Alagon.
Pick up her trail.
Yes.
Okay.
So you guys are gonna wait a half an hour and see if she shows up?
As well.
well, I mean, do we want to? Like, I can wait here with the wagon. Does anybody want to go? Someone mentioned checking the jail.
I mean, more likely if there's a shop around where you can get formal wear. If there happens to be one here. I know there's probably better selection in Alagon, but
That's fine. I mean, I can do. You know, if we're gonna wait a little bit anyway, I can go.
It's in
Get
your
out of the way.
You're gonna go try and do some clothes shopping?
Yes.
Okay.
should be just nearby.
Assuming there is sort of a.
Or
This is a big enough place that they actually have regular clothes stores. I'm assuming. So.
I am fairly certain they do. I need to grab my Vox
Oh.
the Allen
Check my
shop
notes.
checklist. Go ahead and make an investigation check to see if you can find it.
Where did the be?
With
Someone-
advantage because I can give him advice.
Yes.
So where was the Beavis Tower?
14.
Where did they get their clothes from? Because you could totally just get a full robe.
Is there a formal robe?
I mean, it's. Oh, were there ties back then? It said white tie optional.
Yes.
There's obviously some analog.
I have no idea, but yes, there were ties.
I give myself a tie.
Cool. You have a tie.
Yep.
Oh, here we are. Town of Vox the
Illusory.
Allen checks list.
Is illusory, but it'll work.
Interesting.
You don't need it now.
Okay. Yeah, there are.
Oh, I can't look good.
Hoss, by your knowledge, there are like 7 tailor shops that he could go to for clothing.
Oh, really?
Quite a few.
Okay. Are there any that I would think were good for formal wear? Like, that I would want to wear to a ladies'
Gala?
gala?
They're certainly not the peak of Allegonian fashion, but yes, they do have a place that mostly services the lords and ladies when they need a new suit or dress for the upcoming social. They tend to do the one and done kind of thing. They never show themselves in the same clothes twice.
Right.
That's fancy.
So hipsters.
Sure. Careful with that word around my table. I'm a little sensitive. You would be able to find some.
Hipsters.
You would be able to find some decent clothes for 15 gold.
Yep, I'll do it, I guess. I'm looking for formal savage wear. Looking for. Not happy about this.
They say we have formal wear.
Yeah.
We have, clothes.
That's fine.
If you want to savage it,
something for a fancy party.
we have a dagger. I don't know why you would want to.
I like the way you think, though. That's definitely the right vein. All right, fine. I'll just take them.
Bruce,
They kind of start sizing you up. You kind of wave them off. He's like, you don't want bespoke, you want off. Yes?
Can I play with your toys?
The Hess trucks?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and play with them. You kind of knock away
the least interaction necessary.
Thank you.
You don't want the bespoke, you just want off the cuff. He's like, what's wrong with this? And you just pull the suit off the rack. It's like, well, if you want, it's a little long in the sleeves. And like, fuck it.
Make it work.
And so then they kind of,
I
they
do
just
this
sort of
today, and I have
quickly,
to do it reluctantly.
yes.
So, since there is a place in town, I was thinking like there might not be. Since there is, I'll pick the place that I think has what I like.
Okay.
And it might be the same place.
And like in terms of tailor shops, like each one tends to sort of go to a certain pay level.
Sure.
So like there are three
Nordstrom's and Walmart.
tailors that service the commoners. There are 2 tailors that service the guild and the middle class, and then there's a tailor that services the lords. So like each of them kind of specializes to a class level.
Okay.
So you guys kind of go together, and you get a nice suit for 15 gold. Little ill fitting in the shoulders. You probably wouldn't notice.
Yeah, I don't have very broad shoulders.
The only person who would notice would be somebody who is used to this kind of fashion. So it's
Also, I just don't want to be laughed at.
Yeah.
it is very nice fabric, very nice look. It just doesn't quite suit you, and then you didn't have time to resize it.
If someone laughs at me, it would feel very bad for them.
Did you want to get something as well?
Yes, I want to get so basically. So what Haas is aiming for? You pick something that looks formal, but not flashy, like like a nice tux essentially, like the equivalent of a nice tux. Nothing that will like stand out.
A nice
Something
black
that I can
suit.
reuse.
Black suit, white shirt, simple tie,
Mm-hmm.
probably a black cummerbund, something that blends but isn't
Yep.
clearly below where you need to be.
I'm going to spend the extra silver to get it like slightly tailored quickly, so we're not delayed that much.
It's gold for the resizing,
Yeah.
and they will expect a little bit of a generous tip for doing it quickly.
Okay. The rush job.
Yeah.
They kind of take a couple people away from the front and sort of like work 3 at a time to get through it quickly for
All hands
gold.
on deck.
Okay. You got to take those downstairs.
Okay.
Okay. So we get that, and then we head back and see
So, yeah.
if the other people wait. I'm assuming some people were waiting
Yep.
at the rendezvous point.
My side was just playing around with different outfits through disguise. Just like a little bit of green, a little bit of black, white. Ooh.
Does Jazz Mall need something?
Jasmine says she's going to wait until they arrive in Alagon.
Yeah.
Because she saw they had a section of the town from her homeland, and she was hoping to find something that would, like, she understands that she is going to stand out, period. So she wants to find something that will blend with her standing out.
Something more traditional.
Yeah.
No, run. Be right back.
Yep.
Yep, of course.
So he's going to have to knock 17 gold for his clothes. You have to knock 15 gold for yours.
Did it.
Cool.
Done.
Lysander is cheating.
Yeah.
I'm cheating because it's what I do.
Joff doesn't.
Everything.
Joff doesn't seem particularly interested in buying clothes, and he may not do it unless pushed to.
I just thought of a great.
I would say to him, look, if I have to do it, you have to do it.
Do I have to?
It says required. I mean, maybe sneak around the back, or maybe,
Well, what am I supposed to do about Bishop? I don't think a tie will fit on him.
You would be surprised.
that is a challenge. Does that include the tip, or no?
That includes a tip.
Okay.
Is a tip involved for just buying it?
There's a tip involved for having them tailor
The
it.
rush job.
Yeah.
Getting it done today.
Because that way, not just today, but like in the short run.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So you got it tailored, that's where the tip comes in. You got it off the rack, that's why yours was cheaper.
So in the couple hours that might have taken, has she shown back up?
Yes.
Okay.
She showed up
How's she look?
to you guys. She showed up after about 45 minutes,
Okay.
Oh boy.
and she doesn't look drunk. She looks severely hungover and sipping the hair of the dog. So, Lysander, that would be you, technically Joff, but he's sleeping it off in the back, and technically Jasmal, but she's probably not going to say much.
She's involved with Lysander too.
Yes.
So, you look like a sight for sore eyes.
You trying to be
good
funny?
morning. I mean, good morning.
Good morning.
Also, no, seriously, you alright?
I'm fine.
Sure.
Just a little sick.
What was the point of the meetup again? I don't remember the context of why we
Formal
asked.
dinner.
No.
It's a formal dinner and
Meeting her?
Yeah, wine and iron.
because
Because
We told her we'd ride back with her.
and because she showed up delivering the invitation to Lady Stelmane's.
Okay.
So she's kind of just working for Lady Stelmane and happens to be the person you've contacted.
Okay, we're
she
gonna
contacted.
travel back together because we trust her.
Yeah. So she's kind of pulling her horse along. It seems to be a strong stock. You presume she rode it into town, considering she was right on your guys' tail when you guys left.
Totally. So you're gonna tell her what happened?
I don't think she needs to know about my life.
No, I just meant that
Where's
she's
the
here and
rest
we're
of
not.
you?
That's all I meant.
Where's the rest of you? There's only 1, 2.
7
3.
of you.
They're figuring out their attire for the event.
This is why I don't go to those stupid galas. And she takes a big drink of her wine bottle.
And she turns down all her invites.
Yes.
Except from Orcus. That one's fine.
Oh, while you're here,
He's much more
blue
casual
or
about dress.
green?
Are they just a blue suit and a green suit?
Yeah. The weight, the white.
Definitely not the white. You look like a ghost, you pasty fuck.
Okay.
Should it be purple and green like your livery?
I say
You go for Joker, full Joker.
blue suit, green shirt. It matches your eyes.
Thank you.
Well,
So-
you asked.
Yeah. No, I mean like as in like, oh, yeah, that's surprisingly articulate.
Trying to be
Okay.
sincere.
You looked fabulous, darling.
She probably gave me horrible advice.
No, it actually does work pretty well. It gives you an appearance similar to the rolling sea that has become your eyes.
Jasmine thinks it's fine.
Jasmine agrees. Yeah, Jasmine thinks you look good.
I changed to red. Jasmine agrees. I
Yeah.
changed to white when Jasmine agrees. No,
We have a fun montage of you trying on different hats to show your playful side.
I did actually contact Theo and ask her some questions about the upcoming session, so
Nice.
Okay, good.
It's not just all made up.
no,
So-
not all made up.
So I guess we're all good to go here. You guys take a bit to get back.
Yeah,
You would just want to flash forward in time to when we return.
that was exactly what I was just about to do.
Sure.
So
An hour or so later, you guys show up.
We arrive with bundles.
So you guys are looking not snazzy because you don't have the clothes on, but yes.
You guys are looking the same except with bundles.
Are we ready to go? Like
Yeah, let's
almost lunchtime.
Yeah, let's get the hell out of here.
Let's get out.
Yep. Let's ride.
She gets on her horse and you start taking off. Moving right along.
What was Minerva's sister's name?
Alindra. Alyndra.
And the mercenaries are Alindra.
Tears of Alindra.
Tears of Alindra.
Well, Alindra's tears, but close enough.
Okay.
They are functionally equivalent.
Okay.
All Alright, does anything happen on the trembles, or is it
Yep,
relatively
so
uneventful?
You ride.
Go ahead and roll d12. Just to see what happens.
2.
Okay. Nothing attacks you on the road.
Okay.
However, there is a little bit of a roleplay situation that happens. As you are continuing along the road, you stop about 3 hours into your 8-hour ride to kind of give the horse a rest. It's lunchtime, so those who need to eat. You keep going, and you notice that Nanarin continues to sip at a bottle of wine, and then when that finishes, she pulls out another bottle of wine. She continues to sip, and
Where's she getting all these?
she's got them stored on her person.
It's like knives.
As
She's taking a trip. These are her rations.
once you've passed the halfway point, and she's passed the halfway point, you can start to hear her start kind of singing a song, kind of mumbling-ish. And then as she continues to go along, she starts to actually pick up. And I'd like all of you to roll intelligence checks.
6. 13.
You say 6? Okay.
I have 0 modifier, I rolled a 6.
With the 20, you recognize that this song is actually the song that the bards sang of you in Orlane when you'd defeated Nanarin. And she's singing like, the shield of Orlane, fear no threat, and she just starts singing like that. About 15 to 30 minutes into that song, because she keeps going.
Oh, does she like on repeat now?
Yes.
Okay.
But it doesn't repeat. She starts mangling, she starts reinterpreting the phrases, and basically starts calling you guys cowards. Too scared to fight an elf in the pit. Willingly lets the evil free.
Have I made out the words yet, or no?
Yeah, you can hear her.
Okay. This part, she's just straight up.
As a Haas, like while he's driving, remarks like at a pause is like very clever.
Can I mage hand her out of the cart?
She's not in the
on a
car.
horse.
She's on her own
Can
horse.
I mage hand her off of her horse?
10 pounds is not enough force.
You can pinch. You can.
Well, how drunk is she?
She's very
You
drunk.
could pinch. You could pinch the hell out of the horse and make it rear up. 10 pounds will get you a pretty good pinch.
I may just
She's-
not want to use this.
She says, well, come on. You guys know you're cowards, right? Talking about being great heroes.
Well, we help.
For the record, we haven't talked about being great heroes.
Actually, yeah, come to think of it, we just kind of make fun of that.
Yep, never claimed it.
Yeah, with bards talk faster than you do.
Yeah.
Good for them.
And in fairness, we have fought demons and various other things.
Rescued political figures. Saved a village.
Yeah, there's that.
Also, stop
Saved
it.
a woman in distress. One could call her a damsel.
That probably happened.
Lady Stelmane.
Oh, yeah.
She was in distress.
Well, yeah,
So if she's over 30, she's still.
Showed mercies to our enemies and didn't slaughter them every time since we got.
maybe ageist.
I'm saying it's a joking character.
She kind of like
I know,
holds
I
up the bottle and is like, yeah, it was
Besides,
totally your choice to let
Besides,
me go.
We didn't save Lady Stelmane.
And she just kind of shakes her head as like, no, you.
It's not common knowledge.
Actually,
wasn't-
I don't remember the first encounter. We did turn her over, right? Didn't we not?
The graveyard she
Just
escaped.
imagine when your lights
The
breaks out.
depths
No,
of
it's
Shadowfell
very-
Keep, you beat her and brought her back.
Okay, we could have
Well, you
murdered
just
her
see
there
light.
and chose not to.
There's
Yes.
no like. lens.
Then she demanded trial by combat, and none of you stepped forward to stop her, and she walked free.
Yeah, because.
Wait, who did?
She demanded trial by combat, and none of you stepped forward to engage her,
Yeah.
and she easily beat an older guardsman.
Yeah. But we were telling everybody, don't do the trial by combat. I think that's
Well, because she
exactly
took
what
on
I
our,
was doing the entire time.
she'd almost soloed our whole party, so it made no sense for us to attack her individually.
At level 2.
No,
Yeah, yeah,
And with like 10 skeletons in her
yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah.
yes, but
But
like
it was-
Lysander the entire time.
Go ahead.
Lysander the entire time was protesting the idea of having a trial by combat. There was zero reason to let her do that.
It was a very important reason.
But
The law.
So
Law,
So
yeah.
Aaron wouldn't like die, and then she'd be like, no, wait.
Refusing her legal rights would have caused a lot of problems, considering the tenuous situation that Lord Agrid was as the bandit lord who just took over.
Pardon me, the
Yeah,
Monty Python
no,
reference.
it
but
had- it,
no
like-
need for a structured government.
Yeah, the trial by combat had to happen Why didn't? I thought that there was some reason where it should have been.
Why didn't we fight?
Yeah, what did
Because she nearly took us all out.
No,
As a group.
Nope. Nobody's-
that wasn't a reason.
That was during the group
Nobody
fight.
stepped forward.
Yes.
Agrid. I don't know if Agrid kind of gave you the "don't do it" head
Yeah.
shake.
Yeah,
That was also-
Yeah, that
was
sounds
it.
familiar.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you definitely talked with him afterwards, and he said, "I didn't want the heroes to get into that ring and lose."
Mhm.
So he didn't want to risk
Dirty
one of you
dirty
losing.
hands.
I mean, he's kind of correct. about
Also,
that.
we were kind of outsiders. Anyway.
In any case, we give all these as reasons.
No. Like Haas is like Haas does like pause. He's trying to remember. It's like you do see Haas doing this. Yeah, but he's not talking.
You just see your eyes flash. Well, I just Googled it, and I think you're wrong. Wait.
So she basically just starts doing that.
Yeah, she's
Wow. She's really trying to get on her nerves.
Perfectly welcome to ride on your own.
Why would I do that? I wouldn't give me the opportunity to sing your tales of exploits throughout this wonderful land. Drink, drink, drink.
Did I memorize today?
She's kind of just locking eyes with Bruce because he's the one who's most angry looking.
As usual.
Lysander's just.
I'm leaving it be.
Lysander's just confused as to doing this. Like, why
He's
not?
still a
Haas.
fucking
Haas
coward.
feels very bad for the poor drunk lady.
I don't feel. I gave her the whole what for about. By the way, you tried to murder the world to get your sister back. Because like that was.
And if I'd had my fucking way, it would have worked.
You and I both know, even though you're drunk, that would not have worked.
It would have worked. You guys got in my way. You guys stopped us.
So much for that change of heart.
Yep. We did.
And then you just let me go.
Well, what would you have rather?
Well,
Had us-
I mean, you did for trial by combat. We were
Actually, yeah, you
told
can't
not
have
to
it.
engage.
You
so-
can't have it both ways. You can't be calling us cowards and also saying, "Oh, you let me go." It's like, well, did you want us to kill you in the ring? Actually, that's a great question.
Technically, the gods let her prevail. That's the way it works.
See? A giant walking robot without a heart knows how it works. I think you would have been a little smarter. You're supposed to be an elf.
Remember, from our character's point of view, there are gods and they're very real.
Oh, I know. I shook his hand the other day.
Yeah. it's like yeah, in a place where there's magic and gods. Yeah.
Never wrestle with a pig, son. You both get muddy, but the pig likes it.
That's good advice.
Calling me a pig.
You
You're
heard
the
me.
pig.
You're
Lecherous ape. Alright. Nobody taking her up on her bait.
No.
No, like
Also, is she technically an
Haas feels
employee of
sad.
Stelmane? You know, it's still not quite. It's not quite clear to me as to their business arrangement.
She gets paid to do work.
She's Stelmane's mercenary.
Freelance police.
She continues with a similar tirade, but since most of her shots have already been fired, you're able to tune her out.
Yeah,
I think she's.
it's kind of an annoying background.
She doesn't have a leg to stand on here.
She wasn't looking for a leg, she was looking for a fist. As night begins to fall, it's like... Sorry, hold on. 12, 6, stop for an hour. It's like 7 o'clock on the 37th as you begin to pull up to... Alagon.
Da-da-da.
You come up through the slums over in this area, I believe, the unwalled sections. A couple of stragglers, like very rough-looking individuals, kind of petition you for offerings. Like, please, sir, spare a coin. I have children to feed. You can, with the high perception, you can see some of the women will actually pinch their children to make them cry as you start getting closer. It's that was a very interesting discussion I had with my dad when he came back from China, telling us that story. So you arrive at the bridge where you are asked to pay your toll for crossing. Silver for the wagon, 2 copper for her head.
Okay.
Ninarin pays her own way.
So we're just paying out of our own.
No. treasury.
Party
We'll handle that.
phone.
Probably treasury.
There was
Total of 2 silver for the 5 heads.
Street phone.
Bishop doesn't count, unfortunately.
And Lysander Jr. Lysander Jr. doesn't count either.
You almost
Not
said Lysander
sentient.
Jr.
We considered that.
I
Then we
mean,
considered Lysander Senior.
2, junior, they're kind of interchangeable. you,
Second.
you cross through into the proper outer city, making your way through the very, very narrow Worms Crossing, which is basically just a bridge that people build shops on. You can see that a lot of the shops are kind of closing up, and the Flaming Fist mercenary police are patrolling and making sure that everyone's kind of wrapping up their business and closing up.
okay.
You arrive in the proper outer city. You make your way through the slums. You pass by the Little Rigellin district. Theo does her best to hide her face as you guys get closer.
Mm-hmm.
And you arrive at the gate to the city proper.
Okay. Does she buy clothes from the little Rajan district?
Well, things
Was that the plan?
things are kind of closing up though. At this point.
Okay.
Things are closing up. She doesn't want to go where there's a lot of Rigellins.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to go to a clothing shop in Alagon where they're likely to have Rigellin style.
Okay.
She kind of is not, just kind of doesn't like her homeland, so she doesn't want to be too close to that, especially giving her neck.
What was his name again?
Whose name?
The dude, the slave catcher. Did we get his name?
We did.
He did.
Pulling up his name, if I can.
You want me to just say it?
Yeah, go.
Octavio Abdul Noel Rioja.
Ah, yes.
Do you have that memorized, or is it on a sheet of paper right there?
No, I have that memorized.
He
I
made
love
it
that
up.
name.
It's like they asked Lin-Manuel Miranda how he memorized all his lines. He's like, I wrote them all. My trouble is forgetting everyone else's lines, so I didn't sing their lines or react to their lines too quickly.
That's funny.
Rioja.
And you do remember that the stable is outside the gate in the outer city, under close watch by the military.
Mm-hmm.
There are no horses allowed within the city limits.
Right.
So you
do
find
the
the
stable thing.
Yep.
You find a
so,
stable.
Yep. We'll get them stabled, and also I'll distribute the coin for getting through the gate.
Okay. It'll be 1 silver for getting through the gate because you're not bringing the wagon.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be 5 silver for stabling the horse and wagon at the stables.
Okay.
You notice that Daenerys does not stable her horse.
Right. Well, she probably has a military dispensation of some kind.
Or she'll stable it out, the Stelmanes.
Just say you.
Like she's allowed to take a
Yeah,
horse
yeah,
into the city.
to pass through.
Okay. Yeah. So we
Crossing through the gate, the Flaming Fists give you all a once over, make sure you're not going to cause any trouble. You're given the same speech you've already had before. That's basically keep your fingers on your own hands.
Mhm.
Don't cause any trouble.
Wait. I did that on purpose.
I do the thumb trick? I don't know how to do the thumb
I love the
trick.
thumb trick.
No, no, the trick was that I failed at it, but instead of using the middle finger.
Yes. It's one of these.
Oh, yeah, that's good. There you
I
go.
love the thumb trick.
There you go.
As you're allowed in, and Naren says that she'll see you, hopefully never, you lousy bunch of B words.
See you next week.
yeah probably.
Finger flip. She just starts riding her horse through the street.
Good night, sleep well. Most likely kill you in the morning.
I'd love to see you try. We've
I don't actually
fought
say
4 times and you still haven't, you coward.
I'm just doing it to piss her off.
She goes riding off, and you guys are in the city proper.
She's gone. Hostlet's on the kind of side like. She's a
Yeah.
drag.
I was pretty close to throwing down, but I wasn't 100% positive how Stelmane would react. So
I just sort of assumed that she wanted us to throw down, so I didn't, despite her.
well, that too. She's gonna have to
So
definitely.
I mean, probably wouldn't be all that put out.
Probably not.
Okay.
You guys can hear a Flaming Fist recruiter kind of calling out the rehearsed speech of join the Flaming Fists, explore wonderful locales, stuff like that.
Keep a hold on Joff and
I'm assuming you're gonna make your way
to
to
Snively's.
Snively's. Okay.
Onwards.
Bit of a walk to cross through the entire district because you guys are at the gate and he's at the coast.
Mhm.
But you are able to make your way towards Snively Infamous's tavern.
Get there late.
Yes. At this point, it's
We're gonna
about
stay there tonight.
7.5 bells.
It's a good enough place to stay. Did you have any other?
Fine with me. Just
Okay.
Seems like a good regular place.
You guys are familiar with it.
Yeah,
It's
I
kind
can't
of
remember.
mark in its favor.
Like we've only been gone like a couple days. I can't remember if we if our rooms are still there.
No, he'll probably have rooms available.
Oh, he'll definitely have rooms available. Yeah, well,
Besides, we have protection. He has epic levels.
That's metagaming.
He's level 22. Is that right?
No.
I actually forget what his level is.
CR 25 like Tiamat.
High enough that he'd be a good boss for us to fight.
If you don't remember, Snively was his Tomb of Horrors character.
We could use some XP. We should fight.
Oh, hey, free XP. He's waiting right there.
Yeah, fight the level 14
Swashbuckler.
decked out in magic items swashbuckler
Yeah.
from the Tavern of Horrors.
Sararak wasn't able to beat him, but we will.
Yeah.
Certainly, we
Try.
we can do what a lich can.
Demi-Lich.
Whoever lives,
Shouldn't a Demi-Lich be less than a Lich? Why is a Demi-Lich tougher than
Wouldn't
a
it be a
Lich?
mega lich?
Yeah.
according to the monster manual, a demi-lich is less than a lich.
Wait, really?
But a Sararak is so powerful that he has extra abilities that make him more powerful than a lich.
Why isn't he just?
Demi means half.
Does that mean he's just like half an undead wizard?
Becoming
Not
a
bad. Yeah, Lich is normally an 18 combat rating. Lich is Demi is 18. Lich is 21. My bad.
That's interesting.
demi-liches are technically weaker. Part of the thing to become a demi-lich is you have to be a lich first and exist for so long that you kind of decay down. Your body literally breaks down.
I would totally just cast point mark on myself and make myself into something more interesting.
It only lasts for an hour.
Sararak has become powerful enough that he's regained some of his strength. Anyways, so you arrive at Tavern of Horrors. Do you head in?
Yes.
Okay. Stepping in, you can see that there are a couple of patrons enjoying drinks and food. Snively is behind the bar. As you step in, you hear a very high-pitched yiping sound.
Right.
Oh no, bystander number 3 and 4.
A very young-looking puppy comes bounding towards you,
Awesome.
Aww.
and Jasmal puts Lysander 2 down, and they kind of start wrestling around on the ground. Snively says, "Oh, welcome back. You guys weren't gone very long. Everything all right with your friend?"
I'm here.
"Oh, hi. Everything all right with you?"
Actually very, very good.
Compared to usual, he's great.
No, it's
That's
fantastic.
Mark up. He pulls out a cigar.
You're gonna chomp on that, like, yeah. He starts eating the cigar.
So, I'm assuming you guys will want to get your rooms back. Maybe have some dinner.
Oh,
We got a fancy dinner party coming.
Fancy. By the way, there was some falutin high-to-do who was looking for you guys. Stopped by earlier today. Maybe around 10 bells. 10 bells sunrise, he calls it.
Okay.
looked a bit like whom exactly, or what?
I don't know. Human. Tallish. Clipped blonde hair. And he was dressed in fancy robes. Definitely upper city. Couldn't tell you the home, though. He wasn't wearing a crest.
Okay. Is
Didn't
that
leave a name.
does that remind me of anyone?
Make an intelligence check.
Your best shot.
All of them are just him.
11.
Doesn't ring any bells for you.
4.
Doesn't ring any bells for you. I'll roll for Jasmal. Joff doesn't care enough to roll. Fucking Jasmal ruins everything. She rolls a natural 20.
And just roll those.
Jasmal says, "Yeah, that sounds like one of the servants we saw when we went to Stelmane's estate a month and a half ago." She said,
Wow.
Okay.
Eidetic
nice.
memory right there.
Useful.
Okay.
"Natural
Kind
20."
of an Edvard thing there.
I'm thinking
Jack of all
character.
trades.
Yeah.
Wow.
Snilly says, "Yeah, they were looking for you. They didn't leave a name. I just stopped to see if you were here. And when I said you weren't, I just said, okay, thank you for your time."
Okay. I think one of their messengers found us.
Oh,
So
good.
we should be.
All right.
Otherwise, we crash the party.
Unless this one had a more private message for us.
That too, actually.
We are to attend a dinner at Lady Stelmane's place tomorrow. That's probably what that was in regards to.
Yes, at 7 bells.
Wow. Fancy.
Very much.
Not very often you get an invitation to a Lord's event.
Yes. That's
Especially, you said Lady Stelmane?
yes.
She's been way out of the socializing circle like that for nigh on a year.
Yes, as we understood. Ill, if I remember correctly.
That's correct, yes.
Well,
Yeah, Haas looks over Lysander and is like,
Oh, do I have to? I'm sorry, I thought you were doing that, so I figured it out. Yes, it should be heck of a party.
should be off.
when you're done.
Maybe it'll be good booze.
If you want to have a more relaxed party, you feel free to stay here.
Well, tonight we're here. The actual party's
probably back
tomorrow,
later.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the party's tomorrow.
But in the meantime, as you say, I'm certain my friends would like dinner.
Very well.
And,
Sure.
Want a room.
Well, that'll be 5 silver a person, same as always. I can get you some of the well-prepared fish from the 3 sturgeons. They,
I thought they were like a sturgeon.
I don't know.
I don't get
Like a sturgeon.
Oh, that's what And he says, unfortunately, the only things I can offer you to drink are the house special. I still got a couple casks of that. And water.
The magic shit.
Yes, and water.
God damn it.
Oh, just thinking, by the way.
All the dwarven ale's kind of been
Any tea?
withheld.
Did something happen?
Withheld.
Yeah. That's rather specific. Did something happen?
Yeah, didn't you hear?
No,
Probably
we've been gone a
didn't.
couple days.
We just
What?
The fall of Coraloon,
Wait,
No.
the dwarven citadel.
No, when did that happen?
what?
Well, near as anyone's been able to figure, happened a while ago. You know where Coraloon is, right?
I have a guess.
What's your guess?
Wherever the fortress we went to was? Or is
No.
that the wrong one? Okay.
That was Kundrakar.
Oh, Kundrakar, okay. So where is it?
Coraloon.
Corloon. Is that the one that Threnin was headed back to? Or is that a different one? Okay.
Threaten was headed to Zagotag.
Okay.
To
So Corloon. Sorry.
Yeah, to your bewildered stares, Snively says,
Is it up north? And I described the general area of where my...
"Oh, is it up north?" And he's like, "Well, Coraloon is." Well, yes, I thought you didn't know it.
I thought twice about
Well,
it.
I mean, isn't everything up north from here?
Pretty close.
I described
Silver Desert south.
I described nearby where my tribe is. So
You're getting a little beyond my understanding of the map.
Alright.
But yeah, Coraloon, northernmost dwarven citadel of this kingdom. It's apparently it fell to a mass of invaders, broke in during Breaking Fast. Apparently they used magic to blast through the walls inside the mountain, and a dark horde devoured their way through most of them.
it's a lot of magic. Does this fit the data for the evil guy who I met up with and his
Story?
story? Yes. Does it fit up with that? The Dark One, Morden, dug through the mountains, Alucard.
Alucard.
Yep. Does it,
That's Dracula.
does it fit for the right part of the world?
I mean, they kind of sound similar based on what you remember.
Okay.
Make an intelligence check, because I'm a dick.
I'll do well one of these times, but not that one. 5. Maybe.
Your assumptions are your own.
Yep.
And he says, yeah. The dwarven assault team led by, what was his name? Iron Fist.
Ironforge?
No. Kevdak. Kevdak Darkun. He led a militia and held off the forces on the, I think they call it the Slaughter of the Stones. Eventually the dwarves had to retreat when they, the undead hordes broke out and kind of trashed the survivors. But he was able to escape with what remained of his forces, and he was able to rescue quite a few refugees with the whole event. Noah, you should have some recollection about that.
Repeat that a sec.
The dwarves fighting off a undead horde.
Oh, sorry, yes, because Sorry, that's not my saying, that's me specifically knowing this.
Okay.
A lot of
But-
stuff happened
Until
How do you know, but Lysander doesn't?
because I played the dwarves in the fight that happened.
Ah, yes.
and this was like a year ago.
This was a while ago, yeah.
Blast from the past.
But with the fall, all the dwarves are holding their ale and holding somber mourning for the fall.
That is,
Once the mourning is finished, I'm sure they will be marshaling a force to try and retake the citadel if at all possible. But until then, the dwarven ales run out.
Well, I mean, for cider anyway. But do you have tea?
I got a barrel of leaves that I use in cooking.
Close enough?
Well,
Gives it an extra kick.
Haas is thinking.
It will actually make tea.
Yeah, I know. It was like basil tea.
No. It's not like it's like actual tea leaves, what you would consider tea leaves, but he uses them in his cooking to add an extra kind of palate. It's a halfling trick.
It's seasoning.
Everything has caffeine. He drugs everything up. He's just like,
We've actually been high this whole time. We haven't been speaking to
that
anybody.
explains a lot.
I don't know what you're talking about, because he's mostly done with the cigar.
The cigar slowly regrows in his hand.
It's tobacco. Wacky tobacco.
But, anyways, just want to let you know, the dwarven nail's out for
Okay.
the time being.
Man,
Thanks.
When did this happen? He's trying to think. Martin,
I'll have the damn house special.
I heard. Let's see. According to the reports, this happened maybe about 5 tids ago, back on the 32nd of Flame Roll. Out of character, you guys left for Alagon the first time around.
Ted is a 10-day week, is that right?
5-day week.
oh, shoot. I keep thinking it's a 10-day also.
So like
Like
a month and a half, something like that.
close-ish. Like when you guys left to go to Alagon to assault Mandarkai's mansion, that day the dwarven mine got assaulted.
So, wow, that sucks. And I'll take a water.
Yeah, it's bad news.
Yeah.
He pulls out a bottle of sealed water and sets it down for you.
Oh, bottled water.
It looks a little dirty. Like they took an empty wine bottle and filled it up in the river and corked it. In character, you would be used to your water not looking clear.
Yeah.
That's why everybody drinks beer or cider.
It's a good way to kill bacteria. Is
Or tea.
brewing.
Did you want your tea?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. He writes down on a pad.
Yeah, I'll take the damn special.
He pours you
Prepare to
Sets
have
it down.
clothes removed.
nice and frothy. He gets you after.
I'm gonna have to wear too many clothes tomorrow. Or if you were clothes tonight.
Wait. Stupid. Would it be possible to purchase some of your special to go?
Why? Yes, but why?
Pranks.
For the lulls?
Shenanigans.
He's gonna roll an insight.
No, it is for shenanigans.
He's not lying. He's persuading.
Is it? If it's actually shenanigans, he rolled a 19 plus, so
It's shenanigans.
it's shenanigans. He says, "Yeah, I'll give it to you at discount."
Oh, okay.
As long as you solemnly swear you're up to no good.
Essentially,
I don't know. Yes. Awesome. How much?
well,
Big table for this.
a gallon of regular ale costs 2 silver, so he charges it as 1 gold.
1 gold. At discount, it's still 1 gold.
Yes,
Sure.
Because it's special, so it was more than a gallon of regular ale.
This is
Yeah.
magically infused.
magically infused and shipped from the other side of the Moonstone depths. It takes a while to get it there.
Oh man.
But lots of shenanigans are packed into every sip.
Yes. So you have like 16 cups of, and he pulls out
Like
like
unit conversion.
he pulls out like a small wooden cask which clearly has Snivelly Infamous's Tavern of Horrors House Special
Green devil.
burned into the side.
Copyright.
Is there devil face burned on the logo?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. This is gonna be great.
And he says that
It should be the O in of Tavern of Horrors. The O should be the mouth of the devil.
he says, "Oh, I'll keep that in mind for the
Yeah.
reprinting."
Yeah, I know. I'm usually good at graphic design. Most people don't know this about me.
I can make it.
He says it'll be 5 silver for the food and the drink. For him.
Oh, okay.
For you, it'd be 3 silver for you guys. Jazzball takes a water. Joff takes a beer. They get the food.
Special and
So that'd be 1 gold, and then another gold for you 3. Total of 3 gold. Or 2 gold.
should take that off. Or we got more party funds.
No, I pay for the rooms. Like the rooms go to her, but like dinner is
Sure,
Independent.
that's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Double checking.
5 silver per head for the rooms. So that'd be a
Yep.
total of...
I have previous. Well, I while we were having the conversation,
Yeah.
I settled that up on the
Okay.
phone.
The other option was if you just gave 3 gold and then got your room, your meal included in that, would also have worked.
Okay.
Anyways,
I just paid a gold. I'm assuming that's what I should have done.
that'll get you 2 meals.
Well, it's-
Or 1 meal
It's a tap.
and 3 beers.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
I've got a bottle of magic.
You opened a tap.
Yes.
He does warn you that the effects are cumulative.
I'm blind and I don't want to take off my clothes.
I can't wait to
Actually,
swipe
as you
punch.
start drinking them, they seem to sort of take on a new trait. As you start to feel your this illusionary magic take over your face, he says, "Oh yeah, by the way, my buddy, he fixed up a new feature.
What's this one?
If you look in the mirror, you now have a great green devil as a head."
Oh, I'm
I almost get behind that. I can almost get behind that one. Alright, anything else you guys want to do before bed tonight?
Not really. I'm good.
I'm curious about why Stelmane wants us to come to this party.
Do you want to do some,
Reconnaissance.
I mean, reconnaissance would be going to the party, but
or going to the house and see what you can find out?
Yeah,
it's a little
Maybe
late.
that's a bad idea, but
It's a little late, right?
it's like 7:30, pushing 8. Well, no, after the meal and the drinks, it's 8:30, pushing 9.
Yeah, I think
There's nothing that said we should show up early. This is basically an invitation.
if we do show up
Um,
early, however, we could take a look around before the festivities really start. Or if it's a trap, well, we'll spring trap.
yeah, we
I just assume a lot.
we could kind of like we can head over early and like kind of case the place from the outside. I mean, like keep an eye on it, see what looks like it's doing, and then
Yes.
go in. You know, a little after 7.
I'm just thinking, last time we saw Stelmane, we freed her from the control of a mind flayer? Oh,
indeed.
That's the tavern.
yes. Well, we don't know if she's been taken over once again, or if this is a plan to ferret someone out that she wants found, or...
This is your private booth right here.
Just
That
nice.
kind of keeps you isolated from the rest of everybody, so you can talk privately. These are the bedrooms.
Okay.
Oh, and the washroom.
Oh, nice. We're next to the washroom, so we just hear the... Oh, there's no faucet, is there?
No, there's a basin of water and
might
a
be a
hole in the
pump.
floor.
We just hear pumps and splashing as we're talking.
It's probably like a barrels on the roof feeding water down.
Yeah.
He just hasn't...
Although, yeah, Alagon is actually high class enough that they imported somewhat indoor plumbing from Malar, where they actually have sophisticated pumping systems.
Okay.
So,
like New
they're
York
very,
City,
very
right?
rudimentary indoor plumbing.
So like New York City.
Yes.
Again. Okay. Again, I'm just nervous about going because such a elegant invitation doesn't seem befitting of us. Like, why is she inviting us?
We did her a favor.
Well,
And she sent a narrative to give it to us.
so
So she
I
did us
assume
no favors.
that this is part of a job.
Yeah, it could be
Working security.
for John.
Working security, or we're there to be told what she's like, or to observe some people.
Sure.
I was not disguised when we met Lady Stelmane. I haven't been disguised, I think, since we came out of the mansion. So I've been walking openly like this.
No, you redisguised yourself midway through the walk. But you weren't disguised meeting with Lady Stelmane. You decided that magical illusions would be ill received.
Right. Right.
So there's kind of like, you have walked openly by accident, but most of it has been under the cover the first time you were here.
Mm-hmm.
Now that you gave up the bracer and have been here for like a month,
Yeah.
you have been made a lot more of a splash.
Yeah. Been pretty open. I still like I wear normal clothes, but I wear a large hat, so it's not obvious. But I don't like look myself.
Yeah, still look even creepier. Have yourself in a cloak at all times.
Works for the Sith.
So yeah, right. So I'm presuming this is part of some sort of job she needs us to do.
Seems a reasonable assumption.
No reason not to be on our guard. Could be a trap. Could be anything like. My thinking is that I'll bring my bag of holding with stuff in it under my, frock.
Sounds like a good idea.
So you'll put your gun in the bag of holding?
Yeah, and anything that people want to have quick access to. Anything that we can't.
Yeah, maybe my
take
shield.
in.
I could just outright disguise myself with
Your shield. Would that fit in the bag of holding?
It'd be a tight fit, but yes.
Okay.
The opening's about 2 feet wide.
Yeah, I think of it as like a duffel bag. So yeah, I could grab a medium-sized shield into there.
and I can just disguise myself with my armor and everything else on.
Sure, you can keep all your gear.
As long as nobody touches you.
Chances are they're probably gonna bump into me. Maybe I could play it safe. Most I could bring is probably my focus and a dagger. Maybe.
Well, your armor is ornate too.
I could say it's part of the outfit if somebody notices.
It's part of the outfit. You can't see it, but it's part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't disguise self. Cover your clothing.
It does. I'm saying if I have to drop it for some reason, I can say, "Oh, I changed it in the bathroom." You're done. It is a very nice set of armor. Thank you. But
You're welcome.
super cool.
Nice.
I'm why it looks nice. I'm not an artist, but
No other craftsman. Just your work.
with flame decals.
Hey, lords, dudes, look at my sick flame decals.
Some racing stripes.
I'm
You
just
jest, but there is actually phosphorescence in the hand for his Eldritch Blasts.
No, I know. I just,
You look like a professional wrestler, basically. Lots of
Macho Man
spandex.
Randy Savage walks into Lady Stelmane. Rest in peace. But yeah, I just want to see somebody like suplex a mind flayer.
I was this close.
You kind of actually. Okay, so plan is to go there probably 15 minutes early or so, let's say. Pop in fashionably early and be ready.
Well, what
for
if we go there a couple hours early, just hang out in the neighborhood, observe, then we go in
Sure.
about 7.
Yeah, that's fair. And see if anyone's popping in early aside from us.
Yeah.
At some point I'll have to change, but it's probably easy enough.
Yep.
That's not how I change.
He has
Well,
to
I
hide
mean-
in the phone booth.
Yes.
Or duck down an alleyway.
Mm.
You just turn to the bear, walk into the party.
Yes.
I kind of want to serve Barrington scenario here.
Joff asks, what should we do about Bishop?
Oh, good question, actually. Should we stay in the tower?
How formal is
Well-
the barding?
Oh,
Not that formal.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. It's not like Bishop would pass as a. Well, I mean, Bishop could pass as an exotic pet.
I mean, he is an exotic pet.
Well, yeah.
There are many panthers
How
around.
how
Give the bracer disguise to Bishop and disguise Bishop as an actual house cat.
Oh no, we can disguise him as a person.
or
That'd get weird.
or give Bishop like blue flames, like
Blue
sounds-
flame.
That sounds.
Yeah.
I thought it was green flame.
No,
couldn't-
blue flames.
I just
Yeah,
couldn't
blue
resist.
like what I'm thinking is like not only like Bishop could be not only an exotic pet, but get him done up, get his nails did,
Shiny.
shampooed, his coat cleaned up.
I'm just thinking of the entire Wizard of Oz sequence with the lions getting. All
Yeah,
That's awesome. All right.
So I mean, if you and Bishop were okay, you could go get Bishop done up a bit, and he could probably accompany you.
Joff asks if he can have some coin from the party treasury to get Bishop cleaned up.
Sure.
Say so.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if you don't want to go in, you can just hang it outside and just back us up in case something goes sideways, and just not go to the party with Bishop. I mean, that's another
Don't suggest that
possibility.
he won't go to the party. He's totally going to go to the party.
And Joff also points out I don't think they'd be very happy with me just standing outside.
Well,
Just
honestly,
staring
there'll
inside.
probably be various servants and stuff waiting outside the party. But yeah, fair point. Yeah, sure, we can spare a few points.
I want to see that montage of the day at the pet spa. Pet salon.
Mm-hmm. So you have a day to find that place and get your cat dead.
Bit jaguared. The cat sold. No.
So so I'm assuming you guys finish up your plans for tomorrow.
Mhm.
You head to bed in your rooms.
Yeah.
That's pretty late already. Yep.
Yeah. You guys share a room because each of you can sleep, right?
But you just kind of stare at the wall.
Well, I work.
That's it.
Bishop, are you... Or, you're not Bishop, you're Bruce. Bruce, are you sleeping with them or sleeping with Jezmal?
Whatever she wants. I thought we're the ones who sleep, so I thought we shared a room for some reason at one point, but I don't care.
That works.
Yeah,
Why
sure.
not? Joff also sleeps.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, that was the thing. I should have a room with Joff.
I thought it was the people that don't sleep. Anyway, yeah, however it works.
The people who don't sleep well, or don't sleep the same amount, do a room together, so that way you can share the bed. You get it for 4 hours, you get it for 4
Oh, I
hours.
see.
But that leaves 3 people in 3 beds. So
Okay.
one person's rooming with the mechanic who works all night, and one person's not.
Joff can stay with you guys.
Joff stays with you
He'll
guys.
probably be drunk and pass out, so.
You guys can go to bed.
Sure.
What's your passive perception again?
17.
Okay.
He's quiet and good.
Oh yeah. You guys work.
You're reading mostly.
I was doing a pop song that I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm surprised you hadn't heard that. Yeah, Yankovic.
I hadn't. That was funny.
Pretty good.
All right. Middle of the night, you are awoken by the sounds of something.
Can I make it out?
Yes, it appears to be talking.
Okay. What is it saying?
If your handlers choose to allow it, you can help her get into the party. I'm assuming that will have to wait until morning since you wouldn't want to wake them.
If your handlers choose to allow it. What?
Uh,
I guess I should be just as confused as Bruce is. Where's it coming from?
Coming from within your room.
Okay.
You then hear...
Is it dark?
Yes. You then hear Jazmal say, "That sounds reasonable. She's welcome to stay, and I'll run it by them in the morning."
Wow.
I'm gonna still act like I'm sleeping.
Okay. Make a performance check.
I didn't get a 1. I got 2.
That is...
It's almost over. You're like,
You're like, all right, I'm trying to sleep, but
I am asleep.
you're very sleepy and think that you're being very sleepy.
it's
And then you yawn really loudly.
Wow, am I tired?
At which point, Jazmal kind of says, "Bruce, I know you're up."
Yeah, I figured it was your own business. I don't know what you're talking about, though. What was going on?
As you sit up and turn around, you can see that there are 3 women in your bedchamber. Jazmal, a fellow Rigelan woman dressed in plain clothes. She looks an awful lot like that. Sorry.
Oh, neat.
And another woman, very plain Jane, shoulder cut brown hair, brown eyes. You would forget her face instantly if it wasn't for the fact that you got woken up in the middle of the night by her.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean,
She kind of...
did either of us pop out of trance?
We're not.
You're in a different
Oh,
room.
sorry, we're in the other room. My bad.
So
The-
yes, totally, but we're not there.
What's going on?
The
I just created
the
my
forgettable
own-
brown-haired woman just turns and says, "Well, I guess it's not too early after all. I'll leave you to it, Jazmal." And then she says, "Rilsa." And the other Rigelan woman kind of gives a bow. And
Jasmine looks like she's not alarmed by any of this, right? By them.
she looks a little
Can I do
alarmed, but under control.
Okay, fair enough.
And the brown-haired woman, unless stopped, climbs out through the window in your
I
bedchamber
let her go.
and leaves.
Yeah, I don't do anything about it. So, what was that?
Jazmal says, "Well, you remember the tavern?"
Yep, with Octavio, whatever his name is.
No. Do you remember the tavern with Ferris when we almost got into a fight?
Oh, yeah. That was a while back.
It was a while back. The very first time you saw it.
It was a
in
month
there.
and change ago.
Okay, Paul doesn't remember.
That was when she went on a date with Ferris.
Oh, yes,
and they
okay,
almost
yes,
got
yes,
attacked.
Yes, okay, yeah, I heard about that.
Okay.
And a woman stepped in with her guards to make them go away. You remember when I was trying to sell those things we got out of Manorkai's mansion?
Yeah.
And I contacted somebody in the local guild. And
Was this the chess piece person or whatever?
she says, yep. Well, they kind of want me to pay back some of the favors I've been cashing in by invoking their name all over town. She turns and she says, this is Rilsa Rail. She is apparently a close friend of Nine Fingers, who you just met. And they want me to pretend that Rilsa is my servant and get her into the party.
Okay. We plan to tell the rest of the party this?
And she says, yes, I was in the morning.
Okay, fair enough. You know, you understand Lysander's lesson about getting obligated with big, powerful ones with to be careful about such a thing.
I understand that, but I'm not looking to get involved with them. It just happened.
Yep, sometimes it just happens. Okay, well, if you don't need anything, I'm gonna go back to sleep.
All right. Do you have a problem with me?
Having her there?
She's an heir?
Having her there?
Right.
I trust you on this one. So, no, I don't think so. Any idea what she's going to do with the party? I mean, I guess that's the question, right? Is she going to cause us? If she's going to cause us problems, then I care. If she isn't, then not.
Rilsa just kind of leaning against the wall, and with your high perception, you can see that she has daggers hidden all over her body. She says...
So ask her, so yeah, what's your plan when you're there, Rilsa?
I'm just there to play.
My business is chessboard business. Do you want to be involved in the chessboard?
I don't want to get involved in chessboard business, but I don't want chessboard business in my business either. So just don't make it our problem is all I care about.
My boss promised that no harm would come by my blades.
Okay.
And Jasmine kind of nods, and she says, as far as I could tell, they were telling the truth.
Fair enough. Do I think she's telling the truth?
Out of character, Jasmine rolled a natural 20.
Oh, there you go. I got a 16, so.
That's what she does.
Yeah.
As far as you can tell, they're telling the truth.
Alright. Okay. Fair enough. I'm going back to sleep.
I trust you, Jess.
You go back to sleep. Jasmine stays up talking with Rilsa for a while. It's a little bit harder for you to sleep because of your high perception, but you're able to get enough sleep. Well, you keep hearing them whispering over in the corner, and you're a very light sleeper.
Failing, yes, I am. It's true. It's also hangovers. When you're hungover, you wake up easily. You know? Yeah, you're just not happy.
The ground.
Okay.
So in the morning, unless you guys wanted to kill somebody in your sleep.
Nope.
Okay. In the morning, you all wake up. You guys head out to the bed, out to the main common area. Sniggly brings you some food, says breakfast is comped.
Nice.
And after 3 hours or so, the humans and the halfling join you. You notice that there is a third human that you don't recognize. Clearly, same tan skin, caramel colored, kind of almond-shaped eyes of a deep color, weapons all over her body.
Almond-shaped eyes?
Yeah, you never heard that description before? Almond-shaped eyes?
Wow. I hadn't really heard of that.
I've heard the phrase. I'm not sure I know what it would look like in real life. I mean, I know what an almond looks like, but
For some reason I was thinking pupil was like... cat-
Functionally,
No.
it's... Oh, you okay?
Take
Functionally,
you to-
it's vaguely Philippine Polynesian descent.
okay,
Okay.
fair enough.
But, hey, friend of yours?
Jasmal kind of gives a very tight head shake no.
Are you being held hostage?
Rosa says, I can hear you.
That was the test. You passed it.
Yeah.
Congratulations to me.
But no, who are you? Seriously.
My name's Rosa Rail. Your friend Jasmal here has cashed in some chips with a chessboard, and I'm here to collect.
Oh. Oh,
Jas-
yeah.
is
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Right. Yeah.
Is-
Okay.
Is
Your
everything
friend's yours, right?
So, yeah, Haas.
I disguised my face and looked like someone else. I look like
Haas looks at Jess and was like,
David
is
Duchovny,
everything
I don't know.
okay?
Jasmal says,
pretty average.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
They want me to act like she's my servant and get her into the Stelmane party.
Okay.
Okay.
And
You're
I got them to hold off I held off on saying anything until I could talk to you guys.
Okay. You're not going to kill anybody, are you?
Rilsa rolls her eyes and says,
She promised no.
"No. No harm will come to any by my blades."
Okay. If Jasmal owes this, and Jasmal, if you're okay with this, then I guess I'm okay with this.
I'd rather have the chessboard get even more mad at me than they already are, probably, still. So, yeah, sure.
You have a problem with the chessboard? Rilsa asks.
No, I no longer look like David Cobbney. I will look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm just going to keep switching faces. It's more of a like, nope, I'm not who you think. Nope, no.
Yeah, that's not suspicious.
Scan her darkly.
Oh, pretty much that, yeah.
She pulls out a handful of coins, and she kind of waves over Snively. You can see that these coins definitely don't look like the coins you use. They appear to be large clay chips. She sets them on. She sets them in Snively's hand and just asks for breakfast and a drink.
Does he give a double take to the money or just act like it's normal?
He looks at the money. And he says, Rajelan.
Okay.
And slides him in, and
You
he
asked
says,
for this.
"Yeah." He says, "Yeah, that'll be fine." Near as you can figure, Snively has a way of changing over from Rajelan to Prostelvist, which is where you guys are.
Sure. It's good money, though. It's good business to change money, so.
So she pays for food and drink for herself.
You're right.
I dropped the actual faces. Just like that. I'm not. It's not because I'm in trouble, right?
Right here.
That you're doing the thing.
No. Who are you?
Good. Okay. So anyway, about
No,
the-
seriously, who are you?
I'm not very creative at picking fake names.
No.
Do you have a briefcase full of fake identities? Isn't that your thing?
Mr. Castle.
He's obviously flustered.
Well, yes, but what's his name?
Obviously flustered.
It's a family.
Easily flustered.
Well, no, that's my cousin.
It's your entire family.
It's Fluster.
You guys are weird.
It's the quite Fluster family. It's hyphenated.
We are.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna tell me what his name is, because he's acting really weird.
No, it's Lysander.
Thank you. Lysander.
Please don't.
Crit you. Oh.
Interesting. Okay. Was that so hard?
No, it was.
We're, skeptic-
just imagine elf like.
we're skeptically optimistic.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
this-
she hasn't
this
stabbed me.
somewhat tall, red-haired elf.
Right.
She hasn't stabbed me, so we're good.
You can make an insight check.
She's about to stab you.
She has already stabbed me. I have a 10 in total.
You know she was currently stabbing
You know
with
she.
10 inside.
You know she will have stabbed.
Your thoughts are your own.
True.
My thoughts were.
But just you get no useful information from
Yeah.
the check.
Well, I thought you meant I wasn't under the control of Strahd for a second.
Well, that's also true.
That is also true. When I say your thoughts are your own, that means that if you roll an insight check and I say your thoughts are your own, if you have suspicions, feel free to act on those suspicions. I'm not
sure.
telling you anything.
It neither confirms nor denies you.
Yes.
Totally.
So Snively brings your food. You start eating, talking with Rilsa. Jasmal fills you in that Rilsa seems to be a powerful member of the chessboard, and she has some business inside of Lady Stelmane's, and if nobody has a problem with it, then Jasmal will allow this to happen.
Okay. Rilsa, would it inconvenience you if Lady Stelmane knew that there were chess pieces at her dinner?
Well, Lady Stelmane's kind of out of it,
Okay.
but if she has any brain cells left, she will assume there are already chess pieces at her dinner.
I would guess, especially since this appears to be a rare occurrence.
That being said, I would really appreciate it if you didn't out me immediately.
No, that's fine. I assume that would be part of the agreement. We wouldn't just go saying such a thing. That's the whole point of you being just the Jesmal servant.
I'm glad we have an understanding.
I got no loyalty to you, but I got no animus towards you either, so there you go.
You know, you're just small and cuddly like a little teddy bear, aren't you?
Claws are long and sharp, man.
Bad bear.
So, that strange business being ongoing, I suppose. Jesmal, did you need help finding clothing?
Yeah,
do you
I
think you need
still.
escort?
If you wanted, I do still need to get my clothes, and we still need to sort all that business out. At which point you hear the door to the tavern open, and in steps a highfalutin high-to-do with clipped blonde hair, very obviously dressed for the upper city. Human, near as you can figure.
Okay. So, like, did he come in and look in the room?
He comes in, he starts looking around.
And wave.
Oh, you start waiting?
Yeah.
I was hoping you were going to kind of throw a look to Sniffly, and Sniffly would be like, yeah, that was him. You start waving. This person appears to be a female. Comes up to you.
Oh, okay.
And they say, "Are you the Shield of Orlane?"
We are?
My name is Walena Baird. I have been sent by Lady Stelmane to ensure that you are prepared for the dinner planned tonight.
Ah. Good to make your acquaintance.
Prepared in what way?
Well, this is my lady's first public appearance in a very long time. I want to make sure that all of the guests coming are of a high enough quality.
Mm-hmm. Understandable.
I kind of figured.
I get you, man.
Which currently I'm looking at you all. It seems you are in need of some work.
Some of us have
Oh, wait. There we
acquired.
go.
Some of us have acquired attire, and others were going to work on that today.
I got a suit.
She says, "That's a good first step. And I assume you will also be making your way to the bathhouse to clean some of the dirt off of your face. Twigs out of your
Yes.
hair."
Okay.
Sure, someday, man.
Well, this is going easier than I expected when I was told about you all.
Every concealed-
Ow! Oh, no,
I-
that
I-
was... If that happened, that
If
didn't
you
happen.
rewind a moment.
I have a pint of Murphy's oil soap I'll be using later.
And she says, "I'm also willing to escort anybody who needs to," and then she spots Bishop under the table and says, "What is that?"
It's a cat.
Is the cat already done up or not yet?
That is
Not yet.
That is our acquaintance's exotic pet.
Does tricks. Very well trained.
He won't be attending the party, will he?
We had thought to, assuming we could get him gussied up. Will that be a problem? He can stalk. I imagine he could maybe stalk around outside if that is a problem.
You can hang out on the roof.
No.
Just have an animal by the window.
Of course. Who wouldn't expect an animal at this event?
Properly. Manicured,
Of course. As I was saying, I'm happy to escort anybody who needs to find a decent tailor and get a proper set of clothes. I am also able to point you in the nearest bathhouse to clean yourselves up. And
Might I have your
Sure,
opinion
fine.
of what I acquired?
you do not need to ask for it. I will give it very freely.
Is there anything else that you need to let us know right now? Otherwise,
I'm gonna show her the stuff in the bag.
Right.
Otherwise, we'll take you to our rooms and
Cause I'd rather find out now if she's got a problem than
Yeah.
later.
You show it off. Everything seems fine. She points out that there will be many guests invited to the aperitifs and drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people don't even have to be invited. People will just show up.
Mm-hmm.
But you have been given a special invitation, which means you will be allowed to the dinner after the aperitifs.
Okay.
So she reminds you that you will need to be on decent behavior for an hour with all of the public people, some of the proper nobility of the city,
Mm-hmm.
and then once dinner happens, you will be expected to cavort yourself in a manner befitting the presence of Lady Stelmane.
I can cavort. Don't worry about that.
Hoss keeps shooting looks at
Joff.
Joff.
How did I know?
Joff just seems to be nodding along and not really paying
Big words.
attention.
Big words.
So what you're saying is that there's alcohol.
Is there a particular reason or theme behind the gathering?
It appears to be a simple gathering to celebrate a recent acquisition by Lady Stelmane.
Oh, an acquisition.
Yes. Walina says that these parties will often double as meetings with important individuals, especially if they wish to meet with some discretion.
With regards to that, were there any special instructions for us? Was there anything that we need to know?
Or that she wants us to do while there?
She says that if there are special instructions, then I am sure Lady Stelmane or one of her proper servants can tend to that. I am merely an advisor to make sure that you don't embarrass her.
Sure.
You've heard of us.
No, but I have seen you with my own two eyes. Staying in this tourist trap.
Oh, it's a very good tourist trap.
It's like
I'm
a
sure
theme.
it is.
It's like a theme park.
Here, have a drink.
Throughout the course of the day, she does point you to a decent bathhouse. It's given a look at your attire, she points you to the cheapest bathhouse. Functionally, if you just want to knock off a silver, you all are covered for getting yourselves cleaned up. They actually will clean your clothes if you want them to. It's like a proper bathhouse, like you get into a bath with a bunch of other people.
So it's an onsen.
Yes.
All right.
To what?
An onsen, a Japanese bathhouse.
Oh, cool.
Onsen is the Japanese word for bathhouse.
It's awkwardly too.
But yeah, it's basically a very large open pool that people can soak in and clean themselves off. Their clothes are tended to if wanted. Most people have a person for that or don't have the money for that.
Yeah, I'll do that, but
We just want to knock off
I
his
like a bath about as much as a normal dog. So there you go.
I figure I'll knock off the silver for everybody. Figure everybody would like to avail themselves of that.
She takes Joff and Bishop off on their own for a little while.
I want to see how she threads that needle.
Oh boy, we get to have a beach episode.
Unfortunately, you will never know because Joff's not here.
Aww.
You don't see it. When they come back, Walina looks quite flustered. Joff looks pretty well polished, and Bishop looks... His fur has been, like, scraped through, so all the loose stuff is taken out, the sticks are gone, the mud's gone, he's cleaned, has a bow in his hair. Oiled.
Bishop can clean itself.
No, this is like a proper clean.
No. I mean, like he
deep
didn't have
clean.
like sticks and everything. It's a cat.
He had
With
sticks.
a
I
lot.
was gonna say, how many?
What?
How much?
It's Joff's cat.
He can, doesn't mean he chose to.
The roughing it. All right.
Awesome. I like the bow. The bow's the best part.
Yeah.
What color is the bow?
Nice bright pink.
There we go. It's a show
Uh,
of strength.
Yes.
An actual collar.
Joff looks somewhat annoyed. Bishop did not have a collar. There was never any need,
Yeah.
but Walina seems a little perturbed. As you finish, where is it? Yeah. You guys finish bathhouse.
Yes.
Those of you who have clothes, she gives you a begrudging approval. Your magical ability to create all sorts of clothes, you're able to go a little bit higher than these guys. She
Full
gives you
approval.
she gives you a less begrudging approval. She finds it a little too ostentatious for her tastes.
Kind of just want to change it on the fly, but I
You
don't.
can. You can have her craft the perfect outfit if you want.
Oh, she's not perturbed by the magic part of it, or did she not realize?
She realizes, unless you are you taking steps to disguise the fact that you're using magic.
For her specifically, no.
In that case, she is quite aware of it, and she is aware that people will use magic. She's had wizards attend some of her galas before, and they prestidigitation themselves clean and stuff like that. So she is unsurprised that magic is in
But I
play.
mean, that's not an illusion. They actually clean themselves.
Functionally, to her, magic made you look presentable.
Cool.
She
And
finds
you
it.
bathe so you smell presentable because the sky self
Oh,
does not
yeah.
cover one's odor.
Totally, yeah.
She finds it.
Minor illusion, though. Wait, no, that's just a name.
She finds the use of magic a little bit kind of like less noble,
I call it economical.
and she also knows that
It's a little
you
cheap.
didn't put any work into it. So wearing the marks of fashion for people who like putting this work into getting these outfits and stuff like that, she obviously knows that you are not on that level.
Yeah.
But that's not her job. Her job is to make sure you don't embarrass anybody.
Yeah, it's like if I go to a JCPenney and then rip the jeans and claim that I got them off the Kanye's shop.
Yes. She takes Jasmal. Jasmal gets proper Rigelan nobility clothes. Think a little bit like Jasmine in Aladdin. But she also includes like a half cape that covers her upper torso a little bit. Very, very, very bright clothing. Like lots of yellows and reds and blues all mixed together.
Something to cover her neck.
And she does have a black choker. Jasmal also spent time in the morning disguising what marks she found with a disguise kit.
So cool.
Not that any of you care, Rilsa also looks decked out as a servant, a functional Rigelan servant at Jasmal's behest. And Jasmal is practicing having a servant running around doing her bidding. Jasmal grows tired of it very quickly, considering of her time spent as a slave, and begins to just have Rilsa follow her around. Rilsa is appreciative of the fact that she's no longer having to act like this,
Yeah, it's not really
this
a
woman's
thing.
lackey.
Doesn't really suit either of them, I imagine.
Yeah. So you finish all that. It takes you better part of the morning to finish all that, but you are functionally all set.
Okay.
Let's see. So, yeah.
So basically, we come back to our heroes at lunchtime in Snively Infamous's tavern. Nice little montage moment.
Looking amazing. Lots of wipes and and fades and
You just have Material Girl playing in the background.
I was thinking girls just want to have fun.
Oh, that. Yeah, wait for
that's
the
good
drive.
montage music.
Generic synthwave as we drive to the party.
Magic sword.
Yeah, sure.
Star White.
I was thinking more Survive or something. Wow, I'm
Yes, you are.
realizing this. I
Um,
like Drive. It was a good movie.
never seen it.
I didn't hear.
Baby Driver was a
Ryan
good one.
Gosling.
I didn't say that. Wait, was that the? I saw Crash. I didn't say Drive.
It was.
Did anybody see Baby
interestingly
Driver?
Filmed was yes.
That was so
I
good.
haven't, but I really need to.
It was
Just everyone
really
keeps
good.
telling me-
Yeah.
I think I have a rip of it somewhere.
Is that like look who's talking?
Well, and if you don't have a roof, but you can go to the
Do you know
almost
the
any library.
Do you know the Cornetto
in
trilogy?
That's true.
Central New York.
Do you know Scott Pilgrim
Yeah,
versus
that's
the
why-
World?
That's
Yes.
why I got it for actually.
Same guy as Scott
No,
Pilgrim
Lansing Library.
did this movie. It's about a kid
Yeah.
who acts as a getaway driver for a criminal gang, but he falls in love and tries to get out of it. Beautifully shot, some very, very great stunt work, and it's a lot of the chase scenes are set to original like 80s music, which just works perfectly.
Like he got the idea for the movie listening to the music, and he picked the music and then built the movie around it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's kind of
The
fun.
entire thing was edited from the top down to fit it.
Highly recommended, like 9.5 out of 10 stars from me.
That's high praise.
Like to the point where there were a number of sequences. There was one in particular where the guy's walking down the street, and the music, or rather the lyrics to the music, are like
Graffiti on the wall around him.
graffiti or posters or stuff that he's passing,
So
and it's not like CGI or anything. It's diegetic. It's just there.
Okay. Neat.
It's really well done.
Anyways, back to the game.
yes,
Any business you wanted to conclude in the hours between 1 bell, sunset, and 7 bells?
I still think we should arrive early.
Yeah, I'm going over my suit with a critical eye, and you know, as far as including the bag of holding with it to make sure it's not a thing.
How is it going to look?
That does remind me. Lyson, are you wearing your armor?
Not what I meant.
You're storing your armor in the bag of holding? Or leaving it in the room?
No, in the room.
Okay. Shield, bag of holding?
Yep.
Okay. Gun, bag of holding?
Yep, along with the ammo bag.
You don't have a club anymore, essentially. You have a cantrip.
Well, I don't even use it for the cantrip anymore.
No, that's what I mean. You traded Shillelagh for the claws.
For the primal savagery. I want to bring my Bannock totem
Okay.
as like a druidic focus, but also as like a
Are you hanging the Bannock totem as like a necklace around your neck?
sure that yeah, whatever makes it a little appropriate. So it's a little bit like how people get in traditional dress sometimes for fancy things. I want to have a little bit of traditional touch for my fancy things.
Sure.
I have my business papers / on focus.
Okay.
Still-
And that's stored as a book on you.
yeah.
So you just tuck that into a pocket
Yeah.
in your armor.
It looks like it's a pocket. If someone were to look at it, even with the disguise stuff going on, it's a book in a pocket.
Okay.
It's like it's the thing I write when I'm hanging out. Or whatever.
Before the advisor leaves, I do ask if it's proper to have if it's acceptable to wear a dagger. And
She says that
as part of your attire.
She says that yes, a simple weapon like that would be allowed. Take care not to be too ostentatious with it, or you may attract a patriarch's eye.
Okay, no, like, and he's Haas says, no, it'd be like I show her, like it'd be under the suit.
Okay, and she says that if your dagger is too ostentatious, a patriarch may challenge you to a duel for entertainment or sport.
It's the guitar, so
Okay.
it's not ostentatious. It has a very utilitarian sheath.
Oh, I should probably.
She goes, oh, well, I don't even know if I would wear that in public. You might want to just put that away.
I do think that for the sake of
Thank you.
No problem.
for the sake of avoiding people bumping into me and discovering I have my
I tie a little
crossbow,
bow.
short sword, spear, dagger, and everything else, I should shove everything else aside from the dagger into the bag of holding. As a weapon.
What's a patriarch?
What is a patriarch? Good question.
Patriarch is essentially the senator of the city.
Okay.
They are technically supposed to be self-made men and women who, through acumen, business, and otherwise, created enough money to buy a noble title, and the exchange could happen back and forth. Functionally, they are now just the Kennedys and the Clintons of this city.
Dynasties now.
Yeah.
Dynastic, no longer.
Self-made. There's so much money that they have, and so much control that they have over the area, that it's very hard for anybody to break into a patriarch anymore.
Shit rolls downhill, money rolls uphill.
Yeah, and there's about 50 patriarchs. They all congregate at different times in the Hall of Wonders, I think. Don't quote me on that name. It's one of the halls.
Hall of Justice?
No. Where they can vote on bills that will then get passed up to the lords and ladies who handle the big stuff.
So a Senate and Congress kind of relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're the lower level. They handle a lot of the day-to-day. They will pass up bigger issues to the four ruling lords. The four ruling lords are elected by the patriarchs. So it tends to be a patriarch family will elect a lord up into the position, except for the one that you guys met, the Duke of the Flaming Fists. He is
Fairly permanent.
Yeah.
Position.
It's still technically by vote, but there is almost always a Flaming Fist elected to that position.
Right.
It would take a lot of effort and a lot of mess ups by people in government for that to change.
Right. So they're like it's like prime ministers essentially.
Yeah.
So I do hand all my weapons aside from one dagger to you.
Yeah. So like there's this growing pile of things. It's like,
Yeah, because I don't want to.
what am I putting in here?
I don't want to wear all of this. Because like the armor's fine, but if somebody
Then you start taking off your extra clothes and it's just the armor with an illusion.
it's pretty well. I don't have to take off my clothes to make an illusion of.
No, you don't. I'm just saying that you just start taking, like, I don't need this. You just start taking everything off.
Probably just all the bulky weapons that could stab people and shoot people.
Jasmine leaves most of her possessions in her room. She takes a simple focus for a druid. I forget what her focus is.
She's an instrument, right?
I know, but I don't remember what instrument it is.
Sitar, I thought it was.
She's proficient in multiple instruments, right? Because you get like 3 or 4 as a bard. So triangle.
Proficient in the kazoo.
Yes.
Just casting
In the blocks. Click, click, click.
Oh.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
Has to be.
Brings an entire drum set with her wherever she
There we are.
goes.
A lute.
She brings more cowbell.
She hangs a lute off her back and says that she will be taking this come hell or high water.
Magical loot.
Loot.
A lute that becomes magical in her.
So the Hoss is like, so what am I putting in this bag?
All of his stuff.
All of this weaponry. Specifically? Yes.
I love it how the
Well,
warlock is the
A
walking armor. Okay.
A light crossbow, short sword, spear, and I still have my dagger right here. So that's about it.
And the bolts.
How about
And the bolts.
the short sword, the spear, and the bullets? You can summon fire. Why do I have to put this crossbow in my bag?
You might want it.
I don't want it.
To be honest, I probably should sell this at some point now that I've locked in my contract.
Yeah. Now that you're Eldritch blasting everything.
Why don't we leave the the Hoss like looking at the bag and look at this like so it's like we leave this here, put these.
That's fine. That's fine. I do recognize that it's a little silly. I should just get rid of all my weapons except for the dagger, basically.
Yeah, probably.
Even the dagger's questionable.
A rapier would probably be better.
Do you have Warcaster to
Takes
feed?
the
I do.
mortar and pestle.
Okay, yeah, then you,
Oh, no,
then you
no.
don't even need a dagger.
No, correct. Yeah, I do. Yes.
I'm not carrying your book.
He's carrying his own book. Fair point. So you guys kind of sort out your equipment.
Why do I have
So
weapons?
Because you're very, very
Joff
silly.
is forced to leave his armor behind. Joff leaves his shield behind. He sticks his magic longsword in your bag.
His shield is magical. Does it look nice?
No,
No.
it's up like a bronze artifact from a museum.
So it looks useless, but it turns out it's actually really good.
Kind of.
Okay.
Like it looks like somebody crafted a bronze shield to look like an artifact from a museum. Like it doesn't have the same
It's not
age.
obviously a magical shield.
Right.
Whereas, like, if you had like a shield that was a magic shield that looked like a magic shield, it might be a cool thing to wear on your back. But
Yeah.
Yeah, you could say
that's
it's
not.
more. Well,
Yeah,
what
it's
was
not. This is not the case.
it? You could still
This
say
does
it's
not glow and not covered in arcane runes. This
Mhm.
looks like a bronze shield that somebody would have used back 3,000 years ago.
Okay. I was gonna say if it was large enough, you could wear it as a hat and be a really offensive racial stereotype.
Yeah, because that's what I want in my games and
More
on my
offensive,
YouTube channel.
more offensive racial stereotypes.
But he
Yeah.
wants. He did a shield. Okay, fine. We're really
So yeah, Joff leaves his armor. Joff leaves his shield. Joff has you stick the longsword in your bag, please.
And bow.
He says that he can, but if we get into a fight, which is what he's presuming that this is all for,
Mhm.
aren't we going to be in a house?
Fair point.
He leaves the bow and the arrows and his pack,
Smartest thing Jaffa's ever said.
and he keeps
Wow. Actually,
and he keeps.
Not nice.
He does.
No,
have
Riley's
you,
smart. Just Jaffa's.
he has you keep 2 daggers in the bag as well
Mhm.
because they were on Bishop's saddle, which he can't
Right.
bring with him. And he takes the saddle and he puts it in his room.
Mhm.
And I believe that's everything.
Okay.
As a reminder,
Hardly.
if it matters, it's an action to pull anything out of the bag of holding.
Yeah.
Anything. It's an action to put on a shield.
Yep.
So,
Right.
you're all finished and you're going to head over early, correct?
Yeah.
Going to get there at 5 bells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like be around the neighborhood and like watch the stuff going on.
Stretch our legs.
You know what would be a better system? If they waited until sun up to start the bells, and that was 1 bell. And then every hour they would go until like
You have to 16 bells or
Yeah.
whatever, or 12
Give or
bells.
take.
But then they still ring out during the night. They mark midnight. They mark.
Okay, well then what happens if you want to sleep?
You sleep through it. How does anyone in Cortland sleep?
How does anybody in New York City
I
sleep?
have no idea.
All
they ring
the
church?
churches ring bells.
Oh, okay. Remind me to not live in.
Well,
Cortland.
at least half.
You
of
lived in
them
New
ring
York
bells.
City, didn't you? It was loudest. It's the city that never sleeps.
A little bit, but I lived in Queens.
Oh, never mind.
Queens
Spider-Man.
doesn't
Churches.
Queen sleeps.
Oh, yeah,
Anyways,
there- church bells everywhere
At
somehow.
5 bells, you make your way over because it takes a while to cut through the city. Are you going to walk, or are you going to try and hire a cab?
I'd say we should hire a cab. Look fancy going in.
The
Well,
advisor.
we're gonna get there early.
The advisor left an hour ago, and you saw her hail a cab.
Well,
I suppose we
might
can
as
help.
well.
No, like it wasn't like a time thing. She was just like, "I'm not walking."
Right.
Cab.
It's a fairly long
I don't
distance.
need
Oh
to
yeah,
walk.
you know what? You guys. Yeah, okay.
I make too much money to walk.
You guys might sweat and stuff. So that's true.
Cab.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't want to get dirty.
Or some organic meat bags.
They you're able to hail a cab being pulled by a lovely gentleman. You are given an annoyed GM who can't find his Dungeon Master's Guide. Don't worry. Curse of Shroud, Monster Manual. There you are. Found it. Except I didn't need the Dungeon Master's Guide. God damn it. There's Hamburg.
Expenses?
Yeah. Coach cab. Within the city, they says 1 copper ahead. There's 5 of you. Yes, where are you highfalutin types going to?
All the highfalutin types go to. We are going to a party. I don't know why I put on the accent.
Well, you're clearly not a highfalutin type, but you look the part.
Stelmane's Manor.
I'm an oil type.
On your way. On the way. And he heads off. You start crossing through the city.
A block away from Stelmane's Manor.
If you so wish.
Yeah. Right in front, yes.
It takes you... I really should put a marker here about how long it takes to travel between districts, but... Because it takes about 20 minutes to cross through a district. You're on a cab, so it's 10 minutes. 10, 20...
Shouldn't take too long.
30, 40, 50. So yeah, with the cab, you are able to get there at earlier than, like, way earlier. Like, you're at 5:40-ish.
Okay, that's fine.
That's when you should arrive. However, at the gate, the cab is stopped by Flaming Fist and Watch Patrol members.
Mm-hmm.
And you are asked to state your business. Why are you coming into the upper city? You may look the part of upper city folk, but you clearly don't act like upper city folk. The gates will be closing soon. So, what are you doing?
We have an invitation to a dinner here.
Let me see that.
See what all.
So it looks like the giant walking robot kind of snaps a finger,
Looking balefully back at him.
and the guards kind of close in a little tighter as he's examining the note for forgery, and very, very picking at the seal. And then he looks at you.
Give me a reason.
He folds up the note. And he says, very well. At Lady Stelmane's invitation, you are allowed into the upper city. Don't lose that.
Mm.
And they kind of step aside.
Too late. I ate it.
I put it down. Oh, looks like you don't have any papers. Oh, crap.
Cab driver is allowed in, making your way through the city.
Was that harsher than usual? Asked the driver.
He says, honestly, I'm surprised you got in. Along the way, you can see somebody kind of carrying a bundle of some kind of supplies over their shoulder, making their way towards the gate as fast as they can.
Away from the city or into the city?
Back to the gate.
Like, they were in the upper city and are trying to get out before they close the gates and they get in trouble.
Escape Manhattan.
Yes. You also pass somebody who seems to be very ostentatiously dressed, leaving, leaves the shop, locks it up, makes their way along, and just kind of seems to be a merchant having their business. As you are getting close to Stelmane's estate, which you do recognize, you are stopped by another watch patrol that asks what you're doing here. And you give them the note. They look over the note, and then they say, all right, on your way. And you arrive at Lady Stelmane's estate.
Established. It's a high security area.
Established that you guys don't belong in this high security area. At least not yet, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Wait till the panther's stalking everyone outside.
There we go.
Hanging out in the cab with Panther.
Whoops. I was testing this waltz music to make sure it would make sense for the party. I gotta rewind it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
As you are approaching the estate, you can see that it's guarded by plenty of soldiers. You recognize one of them at the gate, a red-headed woman named Vigilar Lenta, who accompanied you in last time.
Mm-hmm.
And just as a refresher, I have a photo of the whole estate that you guys will be able to see.
So what?
That's what it looks like.
Okay.
Neat. Nice grounds.
Yes. There's also a garden with a hedge maze out back.
Oh, that's gonna be.
So, okay, as we walk,
Yeah.
into the area.
The watch take the invitation,
Yep.
examine it, make sure that you are allowed into this party.
Yeah.
You are.
Okay. I assume we're not going in right this second. Do we want to like
I don't have any interest in going
hang out
right now.
a little down the street, facing in, like talking to each other, like ha ha ha. But like we take that opportunity to look around.
How droll.
You slay me.
You are a riot.
So you stop. That's right. You stopped a block away. I'm kind of skipping ahead. My mistake. You stopped a block away. Paid the cab. Cab takes off, hauling ass for the gate. And you guys kind of huddle up. You are approached by watch soldiers, including Vigilar Lentimore, when you guys are examining the grounds because you stick out. You hand over the note.
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh, you're here early. If you wish to come in, then I believe Lady Stelmane would not have a problem with that. If you wish to stay out here, that is also your business."
If it's no problem, we'll wait out here for the moment.
Vigilar Lentimore, she says that, yeah, guests will do this all the time. They'll loiter outside the gates, and they'll try and make themselves appear fancy, and then when the party is in full swing, they will arrive fashionably late.
That's a thing. Why wouldn't you just show up early?
Because it's not
rude.
as... And also,
Because you don't want to be the first person in the party.
and if you show up late, then you are announced to the most people.
Actually, makes a lot of sense. Just realized. Okay. That's fine.
Let's not do that.
Let's not do that. Yes, the shield of Orlane, everybody! Everyone just stares at us.
Having seen this, I will let the watch members in the area know that you are cleared, authorized, and you will be allowed through the gate without any difficulty. You may still be stopped by watch patrols.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, just my size get heavy every time.
Put in your head.
Is it heavy? What do you want to take that?
Can you just disguise self and put it all over your shirt? You know?
On my face is replaced with, "We're allowed to be here." Jeez.
Make your whole outfit just made out of invitations.
What were the
Cleverly sewed together.
That's great.
What were the Cobra troops who had like text scrolling across their face in GI Joe?
Oh,
They're
jeez.
their communication.
Oh, in the movie?
No,
In the old show.
in the cartoons.
Oh my god, it's been too long.
They're the ones that like. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Anyway,
so
yeah.
like they're telling.
Like that.
They're
Cobra
com-
Commander
their communication
had a mirror
troops.
shield,
Like-
and then
like
later
that
had
Cobra-
the.
Anyways,
Yeah.
Good.
Alright.
back to the game.
Sorry, wow.
What did you want to do in your time here? You can see...
Observe. Basically, my only thought for showing up early was to observe.
What I kept on my person, since I've given all my weaponry away, I have, however, kept the bottle of wine I purchased. Sorry, bottle of ale.
That's why we brought you.
Oh, a cask?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Um,
Oh, it's gonna be good.
That's
What?
not in the bag. Where is that?
he has that.
Okay.
You see that there are a bunch of light boys walking around with to light the lights
The
on the
streets.
streets. Yeah. I forget what they're called.
Glitter boys.
Glitterers?
No.
No, those are giant robots.
No, they're giant walking penises.
Crossing genres.
Don't invade Quebec. Don't invade Quebec.
So you are observing. Nothing of particular interest happens within the estate that you can see.
Okay.
The wall kind of prevents a lot of observation, but everything kind of seems quiet. Lights are turned on. You notice that in the center of the house, there are a lot of lights coming on. Very like with your
The house was close to the
understanding-
road.
No, far away.
The house. Okay. So like that kind of like fountain was between the house and the road.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. But the door is on the top of the stairs, so you can see.
So you can see it. Yeah. So anyway, sorry. What we were seeing.
You can see like the lighting inside of the house in the bottom center is slowly getting brighter. Like somebody might be lighting a lot of candles. And you notice watch patrols are making their way along the walls and giving you a nod.
Okay. So I figured like we go in at the time. We don't want to be gauche and get early. We don't want to be gauche and be. We don't want to attract a whole lot of it. We're going to attract attention.
Yeah.
We don't want to attract
Yeah.
a lot of it.
Fair enough.
At this point, a watch patrol stops you and asks what your business is here. You should be back in the lower city, peasant. My mistake.
4th time? Okay. Yeah,
Probably the
keep
7th time because you've been here for an hour.
Keep going.
So as far as like what's going on in the streets, traffic, are like people starting to gather because there's an event going on?
A couple of people are starting to gather. There's a gaggle of about 20 to 30 people all gathered together.
Mm-hmm.
From what you can see, 4 of them are people of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of them are retainers, servants, and hang-ons.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Any, I mean, aside from just that being interesting, I guess I'm going to pay attention.
Okay. They seem to be laughing about something, talking about banal business.
Mm-hmm.
At a certain point, one of them tosses a gold down on the dirt, and they watch. You watch as 2 of the people in the group, not the wealthy people, pull out these long wooden poles and start whacking on each other. And it seems like they've engaged in some sort of duel.
What is it with rich people?
Interesting.
In character.
They suck.
You're watching for quite a while as
It's
a
like
lantern
slapboxing.
is opened,
Mm-hmm.
and these fireflies start flying out
Mhm.
slowly, and the duel goes on and on and on and on and on until every firefly is out of that lantern, at which point it's called.
Interesting.
But there's no. It didn't look like they were doing damage, right? This is more like
They were
touche.
they were going to leave some bruises.
Okay.
Nobody's getting any broken bones often. They might strike enough for a broken bone, but
Okay.
they
Well, that's-
seemed, these 2 servants seemed to survive the event well enough.
Mhm.
And you can see some coins exchanged hands between the retainers and the rich people.
Okay.
Seems like something to have passed the time.
Right.
Took maybe 15 minutes to
And it
resolve
looked like
that.
it was one of their. They essentially had like boxers, like servants who were
They
there
had,
to
essentially,
fight.
they
Maybe.
had essentially said that 2 servants step up and fight. Whoever wins the duel gets a gold.
Ah, yeah, sure.
Was there any skill to these 2 servants?
Make an intelligence check. You're an adventurer. You've seen fighting.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen every kind of fighting,
Tons of
from
fighting.
brutish orcs to
Yeah.
skillful Nanaran.
20.
You can see that one servant looks like he's never even wielded a weapon before.
Mhm.
The other one seems like he's done this before, but he's not particularly skilled. He's like a level 0 commoner, maybe with a little bit of an improved strength score.
What you're saying
Okay.
is that nobles are into proxy warping.
Mm-hmm.
More like nobles are into violence for enjoyment.
MMA.
You do that for work.
Yeah. And some people do that for work too. It's
Yeah,
just...
sure.
I do have a suit of armor at home that I use for fighting, or used.
Stage
You still use
fighting.
it.
Scott, not.
Oh wait, yes.
You also
Uh-huh.
watch plenty of rich people start kind of crossing the street. They kind of see the event going on and sort of watch it a bit. Rosa is just kind of cleaning her fingernails with a knife. She doesn't seem particularly engaged in talking with any of you. A couple of personal cabs make their way past, back and forth. The city is winding down, quote unquote. Still plenty of traffic, still people milling about.
What was the chess piece's name again?
Rilsa Rail. RILSA space RAEL.
Okay, I just wanted to, so I remember, because she'll come up. And she is acting the part.
Yes. Convinced, very, very convincing.
She's being all demure and
It
and
seems like she's very
seen
good.
and not heard, and
Yeah, it seems like she's
not
good.
even seen.
Yeah,
Good
it seems like she's
performance
very good at putting on a performance and disguising her reality.
So she too takes out the stick and starts fighting for the gold piece.
And she kind of whispers, "If you dare try and make me commit those savageries, I will see you bleed out in an alley."
Don't believe me, I'm just as weirded as you are about that.
Yeah, no interest.
You probably would have seen this happen before, and you understand that patriarchs do enjoy the entertainment of watching and betting on duels. And sometimes they'll engage in duels themselves. A little less common because they don't want to get hurt, but it does happen.
Okay.
You may not be interested, but you must admit it's interesting, this behavior.
Sure. Fine.
Okay, so
Traffic back and forth. At this point, you hear the first gong of the 7 bells, which means that at the end of those 7 bells, it will be 7 o'clock.
so we start moseying.
You start moseying. The Patriarchs seem to ignore you. You notice that you catch the eye of a somewhat pudgy. Elves don't really gain fat, but he seems to have lived a very long.
Fat for an elf.
Yeah, lived a very very comfortable lifestyle. An elf with a beautiful.
No, he's a jolly elf.
Yes. And a beautiful woman on his arm.
Okay.
He's kind of watching you as you guys make your way through the gate. He looks. There's somebody on here with a mask on, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like that.
Okay.
Except pudgier.
No, that's literally what he looks like.
It's the Riddler. The Riddler's here.
Oh no.
One of those masquerade masks. Very glittery.
Domino.
Bottle of wine in hand. Sashes and crosses and lots of clothing.
Does he seem to be a patriarch or a professional?
What do you mean by professional?
Someone who has actual work.
Oh, make an insight check.
Citizen.
Does he have calluses on his hands?
Well,
I don't have
I see him
calluses
too,
on my
right?
hands.
yeah.
Alright, can we do this?
He kind of stands out. He arrived pretty recently before the bells started ringing.
It's 13.
13?
25.
Well, fuck you.
6. I have no idea.
I know people. I just don't give a shit about that.
Well, in that case, why'd you roll the insight?
That's it. I don't tell.
That's his job for the. This is job for the.
Yes.
That's what we're supposed to be doing.
My job is to not
Yeah.
get us killed. So I'm interested in people as in like prey. You know, like
Yeah.
cats are very interested in mice.
You can tell that he doesn't seem to work with his hands. He doesn't. An elf wouldn't get pudgy like that with hard work.
Yeah, sure.
Well, it did take hard
Probably
work.
noble.
Lots and lots of eating and
but
drinking.
not labor.
So
Where did the rest of the
he
calluses go?
probably looks like a patriarch.
Yeah.
But you, Lightstander would have filled in that most of the not just most, 95% of the patriarchs are humans, and there is a dwarven patriarch family.
Okay. He's certainly a noble of some sort.
And it's unusual.
Patriarch's
No, well, not
probably
unusual, but
Well, there's also lords and ladies too, right? So
There's 4 lords and ladies.
okay. So fewer of them.
Are you watching the video list?
It's a humanocentric world.
Yeah.
So this noble
It's our
elf,
humans world. You're just living in it.
yeah, this noble looking elf, kind of not quite sure where he'd fall on the spectrum.
Yeah, fair enough.
You want me to
Doesn't
turn it
fit the
down?
normal categories.
And so you make your way in.
Do they announce us?
Well, when you get to the gate,
the shoe.
it takes you actually a little bit of time to cross the whole estate.
And also like parties maybe queuing.
To be announced one at a time.
Yeah.
You notice that to that point, there is we'll just get rid of these. They're fun, but they block line of sight. There is a man dressed in a suit of heavy armor, black skinned with a flaming fist tabard on his chest. Talking with a dwarf with a scroll, very nicely dressed. Seems to be some sort of announcer.
Okay. Is this a man we've met?
No. Well, you may have seen him in passing. I'm not sure. You have not had a long conversation with him.
Okay. Who is the head of the Flaming Fists?
That would be Duke Abdel Adrian.
And we did meet him.
You did meet him and had a very nice conversation with him,
Yeah.
and you actually liked him quite a bit.
Yeah.
This is not him.
Yeah.
He is flanked by 3 Flaming Fist soldiers. All 3 are announced and allowed inside.
What's he announced as?
He is announced as Blaze Alder Ravengard, acting in Duke Abdel Adrian's stead.
Alder?
Alder. ULDER. You assume Blaze is a rank.
Ah. Alder.
Ravengard.
Not ulcer.
I mean, if you want to give me an ulcer.
Too late.
This elf. He was outside the gates or inside the gates?
Outside the gates, kind of hanging near the patriarchs.
Okay. So we noticed him noticing us. Did he look like he wanted our attention or anything?
When you locked eyes with him, he certainly smiled and gave you a polite wave.
Okay.
But he didn't. He wasn't like, "Hey, come over here,"
Right.
kind of anything.
Okay. Just like we noticed.
What you buying? What you selling? What you selling, stranger?
Okay. So we queue.
Opens up coach.
Yep. You queue up. The dwarf turns to you and says, "All right, which ones are you?"
I don't sign for this one.
Ah, Shield of Orlane. You were the weird ones.
We're the only word ones?
We're the weirdest.
Well, you're certainly not any of the regular folk I'd expect at a party like this. I don't remember writing this note. Glad to see you followed my advice. Sir Kilgrave, Major Domo. I have been...
Pleasure to meet.
Pleasure to yourself as well. I was instructed by Lady Stelmane to tell you that a servant would be coming to talk to you about that private business that she wanted to speak to you about.
Sorry, that was Syl Kilgrave?
Sure.
Sir.
Sir Kilgrave?
Sir.
First name?
Pardon me. You... Sorry.
Yeah, you still trivial, sir?
I couldn't pull it off. Anyway, he looks at the note, he turns and he says, Shield of Orlane, heroes and stalwart defenders of truth from the Voxley Island. And you are allowed in.
From Voxley.
As you get lately,
Close enough. We came
they know Voxley Island a lot more than they know...
Almagon.
The barbarian tribes of the north.
But we're called the Shield of Orlane. It's in the name.
We need to make ourselves the shield of Voxley Island. That's what we need.
You know how well known Orlane is.
In civilized
A lot of people in Voxley Allen play on the world.
Shield of McLean.
Yeah.
And it's within their purview.
As you were stepping up, you could hear whisperings, like, greetings and welcome to Lady Stelmane's estate. Please, handle yourselves in a manner befitting people of your station, blah, blah, blah. Looking around, you didn't see anybody whispering this. It just seemed to be like a general greeting out of nowhere.
Like magical?
A little bit.
That's pretty neat.
As you step into the estate, you can see that there is a huge hanging chandelier, hanging like, in the estate being 40 to 50 tall,
Mm-hmm.
the chandelier is hanging around the 20-foot mark up top. And it's extending about 15, 20 feet wide in a circle.
Cool.
The chandelier has 3 rings, all of them occupied by candles, which are slowly burning. You hear this music. You don't notice a bit.
Okay. Is the chandelier new?
The chandelier was there, the candles weren't.
Okay.
Okay.
Make an Arcana check.
Sure. $13.
Okay. You can also see Blaze Alder Ravengard makes his way over to a small chair and table set at the other end of the hall, which you don't remember being there.
Mm-hmm.
In front of the stained glass doors, which you do remember being there, Lady Stelmane is seated at the chair. She has a servant to her side who seems to be handling most of the communication. You notice that Lady Stelmane seems to still have the droop in the side of her face.
Okay, good.
She also has a great sword strung over her back.
We need to introduce ourselves.
I'm going to go ahead and do a thing.
As Alder Ravengard finishes his introductions, he steps over to the side. There are servants milling about with plates of food and drink. You are each allowed a flute of champagne in a proper glass, which is surprising. And little finger food.
Yes. So this is about set by the time there, 7 p.m. ish. We were let in.
Yeah.
It is now. It's been like 10 minutes. I am going to go ahead and turn on my Eyes of the River King. I can see invisibility.
Okay.
Mind flares everywhere.
For the
There's
next-
like 7
everyone is mine.
Wall-to-wall mind flare.
Unless you guys
I found
decide to
my Spanish
separate,
English
this will
more
represent you guys as you make your way.
Oh,
Sure. Okay.
You turn on your see invisibility
For an hour.
and see into the ethereal plane.
So until the dinner begins, I can totally see anything that's invisible is going on.
Okay.
So
Looking around, nothing immediately catches your eye.
just making sure.
You do notice a faint hint of magic on the candles.
Yeah, there's something up with the candles.
Are they the source of the music? Or are they ever-burning candles?
Could be.
Or do they not drop wax onto the heads of your guests?
That's a magical sort of, yeah.
I just remembered I spent a lot of time finding a painting that I wanted to show you guys as a representative of what the party will look like in full swing.
Also, if I could roll Arcana, do you want to also get a shot?
Sure.
You already rolled.
You already. Oh, sorry, you already rolled. So Arcana. 14. Yay! Not fantastic.
Okay.
So we're going to make our way over to Lady Stelmane and introduce ourselves.
That's what it'll look like in full swing.
Oh, very impressionistic.
I love the Strauss
no, my
waltz.
vision's blurry. Something must be wrong.
I love the Strauss waltz paintings ever since I took dance in college. You make your way up to Lady.
Class. That's cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I don't
Folk
know.
dance.
So I don't know how candles work. I'm assuming. 14 years.
My silence was meant as a not good enough.
Yeah.
You make your way up to Lady Stelmane. The servant looks at you.
We thank you graciously for the invitation and present ourselves as your servants.
You were given the invitation back because you needed to get out of the city.
Right.
Lady Stelmane gives you a very close nod, and then she points to the servant at her side. The servant says, Lady Stelmane thanks you for accepting her invitation, and she hopes you have a pleasant evening. My lady says that you are invited to the special dinner this evening. If you will just enjoy yourselves until 8 bells, then dinner will be served.
Are gracious.
Can I tell if she's still faking it? I'm assuming she's faking it.
Go ahead and make it
No, not me. She's doing a really good job. I don't say that out loud.
I think that.
I don't say anything out loud.
Oh, did my iPad just die? No?
Went to sleep?
No? Maybe the music kicked it. Or maybe YouTube flagged it for copyright.
Yeah.
Just go to the next one.
I'm not going to make a roll because Haas is...
Assuming.
What?
Haas is assuming.
No, Haas is not assuming anything, but Haas is being very attentive to the task. He's being,
You care about people.
being very proper.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, she also kind of gives a gesture to the servant, and the servant says, my lady also wishes for you to enjoy a special gift. One of the servants will be bringing it over to you shortly.
Our thanks.
Much obliged.
And Haas kind of does the whole bow and
Scrape away.
tiptoe back.
It's a long room, so you have to bow multiple times on your way out.
Well, just so we're out of the circle and walk away, and the next person can.
There's a whole sequence in the John Adams HBO special where the guy playing John Adams has this really long room that he has to slowly bow his way out of.
Oh yeah, because the king.
Because when he finally meets the King of England.
I was thinking more. I've lost internet connection. I should have downloaded this music. I wasn't thinking. I was thinking more Avatar: The Last Airbender when they're getting all fancied up for the Earth King's dinner, and they throw bed sheets over their shoulders and start talking fancy. You're Momo of the Momoness, and they start bowing at each other, and and then they both bow.
Headbutt.
Yeah, they're basically just screwing around because it's an awesome TV show with kids.
I haven't seen that. Yeah.
That's good.
My iPad's being a dick. So you make your way over. Another group is introduced. It is Corin of the Patriarch Halls, acting in his right as Patriarch, and he makes his way over. And this is the elf, the pudgy elf. Has a small conversation with Lady Stelmane, talk, and then gives you all a nod as he makes his way over and talks with Blaze, older Ravenguard. Man, I really missed
This was as close as you could get to a lady sitting at a desk was
I didn't have a desk.
thrown with the heads of your enemies.
I didn't have a lady, and I needed something.
Walk up and
You created a lot of direct tension leading up to this, wondering what we would fit. Did she declare herself God King of
God.
Alagon? God Queen of Alagon?
Well, now she didn't.
Maya has a raven on her shoulder.
Patriarchs.
It won't get.
Why? I have a connection.
The boxes that one of the boxes is where you can send it. It's too quick.
Bring it up here. What is it? Animal Crossing? That's tap it.
Right on
He
the
has
edge.
to. What was it?
I was just thinking, oh, she needs emo. She's never worked on Animal Crossing early. Sorry, is that for iOS and Android?
Stardew Valley.
It is iOS. It might be Android.
I'll have to look it up.
I had it. It's okay.
But it's pretty bad compared to the old one.
It's not Animal Crossing.
Yeah. It's a mobile game.
It's barely.
Oh boy, open your loot boxes and get random villagers or something.
No, it's like harvest all these apples and give this person 3 apples and a fish, and they'll like you more, and then you can buy furniture, so they'll come visit your campsite.
I mean,
Patriarchs Caldwell, Halath, Othun, and Vanath are also introduced to the party. These would be the 4 patriarchs that you saw outside.
Okay.
They have retainers and hangers on. You also notice a woman dressed in very heavy armor named Oversar Esme Bormol, acting in her role as commander of the watch. And they converse for quite a bit. And then 2 more people are brought in together, sort of like a couple. Silver Company, Oliver McKinnon and Elizabeth Chaucer acting as guild liaisons for Lady Stelmane's acquisition.
Oh, it's Time Warner and AT&T merging.
This is the golden age of monopolies.
And you did remember that Threnin was a member of the Silver Company.
That's the Merchants Guild?
Exactly. And there are plenty of other people, but those are the people of interest. Those are your
Who's who?
Those are your plot points.
Yes. So who was the last one? Silver Company, Oliver, and who?
Elizabeth Chaucer.
It's gonna be a murder mystery. In real life.
And let's see. After Caldwell, the list of patriarchs, there were like 3 other patriarchs.
Halath, Othun, Vanath.
How much did
Those are their last names. They were introduced as Patriarch Caldwell, Patriarch Halath. Okay. People are socializing, drinking. The pudgy elf Corin is talking with older Ravengard.
Definitely drinking too.
Definitely drinking, but he doesn't seem to get drunk. A servant comes over with a platter of 5 simple wooden mugs and offers the platter to you and says, "Compliments of Lady Stelmane. The drink within do not be fooled by the simple appearance. The drink within is of the highest caliber."
Thank you.
Do you just take a mug?
Is it
Yep.
booze?
Take a mug.
Can I ask, is it booze?
The servant just cocks an eyebrow and then takes the tray and keeps going.
I'll give you mine.
Did you take your drink?
If you hand me yours,
Oh,
sure.
I hand him mine.
I kind of sniff it a little bit. Does it smell like alcohol?
Did you not take the drink from the platter?
Oh, I thought you meant he pulled the platter away from me.
No, he was offering the platter and I assumed you took it immediately and then asked.
Okay, yeah, okay. Fair enough, yes.
Yeah,
So I sniff it. Does it smell boozy?
a little bit.
Okay.
Kind of like an elvish wine.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I'll
Hoss
some of that.
kind of looks at it, looks around, and goes, "Well,
Oh wait, you're on
it's like the whole way up. He's like, and he drinks,
Okay.
and as usual, like the cup and his hand are obscuring his mouth, so he doesn't see what's going on.
The ongoing mystery from season 1. All the fan theories are going wild on the message board.
I wish I had fan theories.
I'm gonna hold on to the.
Scott,
What?
as Haas drinks the mug, you hear a voice in your head. Go ahead and finish your business.
What are you trying to do, Chris?
I drink some. Do I hear a voice in my head?
Yes.
Ah.
Mom and my grandma read.
You guys just start staring at the ceiling.
Nobody takes more drinks than that.
Because you don't know how to use it.
Takes a bit of pipe weeder. 3.
So you're saying
Takes a bit of pipe weeder. 3.
So I had to
Weed. Okay.
Pipe weed. Yes.
I heard it.
Talking
I heard pipe weeder. No, I didn't know what pipe weeder was, so I took that in.
Pipe weed.
Your love of the halfing leaf has slightly.
Okay, we doubled your
So
mind.
I'm saying a dose of pipe
say
weed
it's
or 3.
Yeah, no, you're right. I heard it just took me 2 tries.
Oh no, we took medieval bath salts.
Oh.
Okay, I'm
Gandalf loves vape tricks.
at seeing you guys reacting, I ask before I drink. Everything okay?
I guess.
Are you
Think so?
poisoned?
If you hear the voices, this is what you hear. My friends, you recognize the voice as Lady Stelmane.
Mhm.
I apologize for the unconventional means of meeting, but a party would attract less attention than inviting you here on business. You made a little bit of a name for yourself in the city, especially with your unconventional appearance.
This way you need to drink
Um,
something.
Do your best to blend in and enjoy the company. We will talk at dinner, given that my messenger has reached all parties involved. Do your best not to cause too much of a disturbance, as that would attract unwanted attention.
Okay.
With your high perception,
Understood.
There.
What's that?
if you try to say that, you don't get a response.
Okay, I guess I think it. Understood.
You also don't get a response.
Okay.
You do notice that there is a man that you don't recognize standing at Lady Stelmane's side, dressed in wizard robes.
Okay.
Went to my elf eyes.
A man dressed in wizard robes standing at Lady Stelmane's side.
Nothing River King vision.
Right? Okay, nothing weird from that. Okay. Hello.
I blend in.
Did we get a good look at the guy in wizard robes, or he's obscure?
You get a decent look. He's a little young. Well, his wizard robes appear to be very well dressed. And, Russ, he does not carry an obvious arcane focus that you see.
Another puzzle.
I'm sorry. You do? We don't.
I do.
You want to hold
Brown hair clips well enough. You can see his elven ears. Clearly elven, not half elven. Long enough for that. Yeah, his eyes just kind of scan the crowd. You notice that You notice that his vision goes to particular points in the wall. If you look, you spot arcane glyphs hidden within the artistry there.
Sure, I will.
Speaking of something I forgot to add on this map and on the other map. Every 5 feet or so are worked in half pillars, like Greco style with like the swoopy bits, built into the wall all around.
And I point out, I kind of whisper to whoever's nearby, which...
You're all pretty close to the...
This wizard's observing some glyphs on the wall or something. I point them out to them, basically, just subtly. I kind of
Maybe
look
not
with my,
if you want to.
with my
Okay.
vision.
Let's check this stuff out. We got 21.
Yeah. Yeah.
21.
Once you spot the glyphs, you can see that they are glyphs of protection from mind reading.
Oh, that's super useful. That's super useful. Wow. Okay, she
It's
pulled out
almost
those
like
things.
she got attacked by a psionic and needed to defend herself.
Yes.
It's mind blowing.
I'm saying, like, wow, that's a really smart move, actually.
Did anybody want to rub elbows? You have an hour.
Not me.
Hoss stands a little away. So he has a drink and is observing the room in such a way that he is open to conversation,
Okay.
but he's not seeking it.
Cool. With your high perception, you notice that the Silver Company spend a long time talking with Stelmane and her assistant. And when she's talking to the Silver Company, she seems to actually be able to handle a conversation well enough. But nobody seems suspicious of this fact.
Yeah. So I kind of pointed out to these guys. It's interesting.
It's like it takes an effort.
Stelmane looks like she's doing better talking to them than the others.
They may be aware of her changing condition.
Or someone in her condition, maybe it takes a great deal of effort to speak clearly, and it's tiring, so she would usually
Saves it.
She would usually have someone speak for her. But this is important.
But we know that it was because of her.
Well, yes.
So.
You were open to conversation. Did anybody not finish their drink and then sipped it once the messages stopped?
I mean, were we supposed to not?
I guess I'm
probably been drinking
I'm
it
continuing to
continuously,
drink.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do we
Okay.
hear the same message every time we take a sip?
If you take a sip after the message is completed, you then hear the same message begin again.
So you pre-recorded.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think we should download.
Haas goes about 3 times through that and then just drinks the rest.
Yes. I think
And then seeks a flute of wine as it comes through.
Sip.
Yep. There's also empty trays that you can dump your one mug on.
Okay, I was gonna say, let's make sure we don't let anyone else have this in case that were to come through for some reason.
Yeah,
If we were to
yeah.
leak it.
That's
I don't want any weird shenanigans happening. If someone's like, "What?"
Yeah, I finished mine down and,
Messages in my head.
and do one of these, and a servant just appears out of nowhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can also see that there's plenty of food, shrimp cocktail, pigs in a blanket, fancy food with caviar and shit. If you're open to conversation, the pudgy elf Corin does make his way over to you and says, "You know,
Good evening.
I've never met you before, which is somewhat surprising for me, but I definitely know who you are.
Really?
Well, there's not many of your kind walking around the city.
Yes.
You must
that's
be
true.
Hoss of the Sages Guild, correct?"
Yes,
Yes. Out of
yeah.
character, did you bear your guild marks?
Yes,
openly?
I would have the guild marks.
Okay.
Yeah. And so yes, it was like I'm sorry to have not made your acquaintance.
My name's Corin. I'm actually a retired rat catcher.
Ah.
I've spent some time out there in the wilderness and have found it to not agree with me anymore. A little bit too old for that sort of
Arrow to the
nonsense.
knee.
Well,
It'll take a very special woman to put an arrow in my knee.
If you know what I mean.
it
Arrow in the knee is literally slang for gets married.
Oh.
Ah.
That makes a lot more sense. Wait, how many
No one
married,
ever-
how many married Nords are there in Skyrim then?
most of them.
Oh.
All the guards, because they have families.
Wow, I feel bad for killing them.
See,
Wait,
I didn't know that.
I've
I didn't
yeah,
know, that's neat.
I've seen it like all over the internet. It was like, yeah, that's a Nordic slang for marriage.
I had no clue. I thought
So
that was
that's why men get down on one knee with the proposal.
Oh, cute.
But yeah, so that when he says
Yeah.
that, he is literally saying, "It takes a very special woman to put an arrow in my knee."
No one ever teaches me slang.
Yeah. So Paul says like yes, that it would tend to wear on someone after a while. Mostly I've been a student, and I've only recently started gadding about.
I had heard that about you, and I don't merely know you from the Sages Guild. That's your most recent appearance.
Right.
You're part of the Shield of Orlane that dealt with that spot of bother over in Bloomridge, right?
Yes. Wait, where was Bloombridge again?
Mandakai's mentioned.
Oh yeah. Yes, that's we came to.
We killed a house.
We came to.
I
Help
admire your sense of humor.
we came to help a friend of mine, and that's how
Indeed.
we ended up.
I've heard so many rumors about that house. Pray tell, what happened in there?
Well.
By the way, this is where the woman's arm
I
comes
see.
through.
Okay.
This isn't him sticking his hand in his pocket. He's literally got arm in arm with a woman.
Oh.
Yeah. Haas, as usual, is pretty open. Haas says, well, entering took you no longer. took you to some other location. A mansion, perhaps not even on this plane, but it was, this wouldn't have been that long ago for Haas, but
Yeah.
it's like, it was,
We met specters, fought with creatures.
former
of earth.
inhabitants of the house, and then also,
Demon?
I hate to. I don't mean to sound. There was a demon who was in control of the house, who perhaps was Mordecai? Madrikai? Who perhaps was Madrikai in disguise? Like this.
The tiefling?
Yeah, well,
Not so much.
that
a
was his
tiefling.
disguise. It was a tiefling.
He had many more arms than that. That
I
wasn't a
fear
joke.
you may be mistaken on that. I met Mandrikai. I attended some of the same galas as he did. He was definitely a tiefling. Unless the demon had powerful magics that I did not recognize, which is fair. My businesses were much smaller in scale, a little bit more tomb plundering and
Mundane.
damsel saving.
Hang on. The body that was in the dungeons, it was a tiefling?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Mandrikai, or Vargasel, the Archmage, did talk about a tiefling who was in bondage with him.
Oh no. I think we might have.
Well, he was dead.
Oh. I feel less bad now.
Well, okay, so I guess like that is Scott realizing something. It's like, well, okay, so Haas says, this demon was the owner, and Madrikai was probably was acting in his
Cat's paw.
yes, and anyway,
It's funny, your guys' events versus what I have in my notes, and it's just hilarious.
yeah.
Yes, we valiantly.
Makes you wonder what you don't understand in your own life, right? How little you might actually.
Yeah, the mansion was a trap for anybody interesting, I guess.
Indeed.
And they were anyway.
A literal tourist trap.
I am pleased to hear that you dealt with that
Yes.
matter, of course. You have already heard the dwarf announce my name.
Yes.
I am Corin, and if you all ever need some work or perhaps some information, he pulls out like a flashy calling card and hands it to you and says, "Give me a call. I don't participate in the campaigning business, but I do like to help those in that business, if you know what I'm saying."
And at various points, we like to make ourselves useful.
And he kind of turns and he says, crap, I lost my, here it is. Patriarch Martin, how are you doing? And he gives you a good day and heads over towards the Patriarch.
Interesting.
Some dancing happens. Most of the other people are either like, don't seek out attention, they expect attention to be given to them.
Mm-hmm.
So none of them really approach you. And everyone make perception checks.
It's like Haas comes to the realization that everybody else is doing the same thing he's doing.
15.
13.
9.
Rules is gone.
Ah.
Cute.
The Silver Company seems to be engaging in some sort of unofficial business with Lady Stelmane. So they spend most of their time talking with her. At about 7:45, entertainment is brought out. It appears that there are a couple of trained duelists who engage in a fight in the middle of the dance floor for entertainment. There's also some like gambling and some wagers and cards are played and that sort of stuff. Entertainment takes you up until about 8 o'clock when the guards arrive and inform everyone that aperitifs and social hour is ended. Those without an invitation, please vacate the premise via the glass door or the front door. Those with an invitation may remain. And Vigilar kind of gives you a nod. Says you may remain. And the servants kind of begin ushering you towards the dining room.
Okay.
Silver Company makes their way out. Patriarchs make their way out. Older Raven Guard, Overstar make their way out.
We should probably head out.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Corin makes his way out.
We all sit in one chair together
Yes.
on each other's laps.
This woman will now represent Lady Stelmane.
Okay.
The wizard sees her in here, like he's acting like an assist for her walking, and then he leaves through a servant's door, which you can spot is actually a coat chamber, coat check area.
Which none of us use.
It's like no, he goes in and like closes the door and it's like we're all kind of like, is he just in the closet?
Does he not know that's not an exit?
He's like, will he just wait there?
So someone just opens the door and he's waiting in the corner.
I went through the wrong door. I can't leave.
You also notice the wizard snapped his fingers as he left, and the room took on a very, very, very faint bit of blue glowing.
There's some type of weird, maybe vaguely magical blue glow going.
Yeah. Okay. What do my elf eyes see? Anything specific at the ethereal plane?
No.
Okay.
Lady Stelmane, spotting you kind of throwing that whisper to him, says, in her regular voice, as she kind of pulls a chip out of her mouth and her face returns to normal.
Get a microchip.
Oh, man.
I was thinking
Oh,
more
who's the sci-fi
Sylvus
guy?
from James Bond,
Yeah.
with the really weird bit. The one where M dies.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Skyfall.
Yes, it is Skyfall.
Yeah. Okay.
Lady Stelmane says, you needn't worry about the glowing. That is Llewellyn's. I have such a hard name.
Well, there's a
Time
Llewellyn.
printing
That is a name.
You picked a Welsh name. That's hard.
Yeah.
I did not. Llewyneth, she says. Llewyneth, like she was literally having trouble saying the name. Llewyneth has enacted the protection barriers in the room.
Yeah, that's very useful.
Alright.
Looks like you have a higher class of magical assistance than before.
Well, at your Archmage's recommendation, Llewyneth came highly recommended.
Excellent.
And he has tended to my arcane protective needs as possible, and also acts as a bodyguard when needed.
Very useful.
So are we? Is just us and Lady Stelmane?
Yes.
Okay.
Lady Stelmane says, I'm somewhat surprised that our final guest has not arrived yet. Perhaps he will show up later. But we can get started until then. She says, I trust you all received my message.
Yes.
Once again, I apologize at the unconventionalness of this meeting,
It's very
but
clever ruse.
you have made a name for yourself. By this point, the candles have burned down to nothing, and the music has stopped.
So they were not ever burning candles. They were just making music.
They are the Candlekeep Chandries.
That was pretty sweet.
They are. And putting two and two together, you realize that the whispering you heard at the front gate, the welcome to Lady Stelmane's estate, probably came from the candles outside the door.
That's pretty cool.
Talking candles.
Yes.
Um,
And she says, my trusted servants are bringing us food. You may speak freely in front of them. They are beyond reproach. If you are hungry, feel free to eat. If not, then I understand that there has been plenty of food to pick at throughout this night.
Oh, some snacks, some more wine would be nice.
Haas avails himself.
Do you wish for wine or something strong?
Yeah, if you got something stronger.
She points at a drink table over in the corner and says, "Have of you will. Do not finish off the fire brandy.
I can handle that. That sounds fair enough.
There's plenty of bottles."
Yes, choice. A little bit of everything.
She says, "Hoss, you have been making a name for yourself in this city as a
Well, I did want to join the guild.
yes.
That's
I've-
my own area of study.
I bear no reproach against that. Just merely a statement that you have done so. So perhaps you have heard the whisperings through the streets that my men have been successful in tracking down some of the creatures." And she said it with like a little bit of a shudder, like fear and anger, agents that they had traced throughout the city.
So, I'm gonna guess that I haven't actually heard, and so maybe this is a more closely guarded secret than she thinks it is.
If you want to, but I did say at the end of your downtime that you had heard reports on the street.
Oh, okay. I remember that I'd seen agents around. I didn't know okay. So I've heard. Okay.
You had heard of people talking that Lady Stelmane had hired mercenaries to deal with
Some difficulties
and like
Okay.
an assault on brigands and that sort of thing was the term.
Okay. I had heard there's a little bit of talk that your mercenaries had been going after brigands.
Well, as I'm sure you understand, they was not brigands.
Right.
They
not
were
just yes.
they were agents.
Yeah.
We tracked its communications network. We had been able to find out that they were working through a Captain fucking Buckbeak. I hate when I write notes and then stuff goes off the rails and I forget all of my notes.
Did we throw things off the rails?
A little.
Did you need to ask? Yeah, she had tracked down the captain. The captain was working on a ship, and the ship was making frequent trips to and from the Cortullan Dominion. It is no longer called a kingdom because the king was killed 15 years ago. And it's devolved into essentially baronies without somebody in charge.
Daddy,
Mm-hmm.
the door won't close when I tip. Oh, there.
Yeah, do you have an idea where we can go try to take this thing out?
I have taken out much of their network here.
Good.
Well, give me a TID, I can protect myself.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a COD, and I can save a city. Out of character,
Units of
Week.
time.
month.
5-day week, 50
40,
day.
45-day month, yes. I think it might have actually been Koth, but yeah. And she says, however, that does not deal with the heart of the matter. Knowing that they are going to the Cortullan area, there must be some business going on there. I had hoped that Archmage Vargasel, our final guest, would be able to shed some light onto the mansion's purpose and its destination. I believe he had mentioned some person who had been transported before him
Yes.
and hoping to track them down. Apparently he is running late or had business to attend to, so we are not able to meet with him right now.
Hope he's okay.
I can only assume as much. But the reason I invited you here is to tell you that I've done this work and to ask you to finish the work for me. I would like for you to make your way into Cortullan with whatever information I have and Archmage Vargasel and track down whatever remains of this creature's network in that area and see it eradicated. Creatures such as that do not perform business like this for noble causes.
Sure.
Well, I've always been of a mind to travel.
What do we know about the area? Have I heard of it before?
Cortullan? You have not. Not even a little bit.
It's not like this continent.
No.
Oh no, we get to do an abroad journey.
It's the other side of the Moonstone Depths.
Oh man.
So, putting two and two together, you would know that Snively's contact, Felix, is on the other side of there. So he's in the same area.
Wait, so we have a comp? Oh, wait a minute.
Sniffle does.
Yeah.
That's right, because that's where the drink comes from.
Snively's
Powerful
contact,
wizard.
Felix,
Yes.
sends him the egg.
That character from Tomb of Horrors. So,
Yeah.
I'm saying now.
They were both halfling criminals. He started a tavern. He was magical. It just made sense.
Yeah, wizard tower. Yes, perfect.
We have a comp. That's great.
At this point, you hear a disturbance.
Oh.
Out of character, we're going to go into a little bit of a cutscene moment
Mhm.
because there's a lot of shit that's happening all at once, and I need to talk a lot.
Okay.
The door kicks open. The mage comes in. He is wielding. He seems like he has a wand in hand, but the wand has elongated. Like the wand exists, and then pure beams of blue light stick out of the ends of the wand, forming a staff.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "My lady, something's coming. I don't know what." And then there's a flash of.
He snaps his fingers?
No. There, in that moment, there's a flash. I told you not to interrupt me. There is a flash of
bright white purple energy.
Oh.
That does not represent a beholder.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I was really worried.
A creature with eye stalks writhing out of the top of its head, tentacles writhing out of the bottom, and a single white clouded over eye. Looks kind of like a beholder. Out of character, you have no idea what a beholder is. As well as 5 people dressed in very dark leather armor with purplish colored capes. You guys were probably more up here talking to her. And deep inky blue skin. 4 of them have long white hair, hand crossbows, and short swords in hand. One of them has a very wide-brimmed hat, violet-colored eyes, and a necklace hanging from its neck that has a blue gem set into it. As he shows up, he immediately points a crossbow at the mage and shoots a crossbow bolt. Hang on a second, I'm not done with the description.
Sure.
The crossbow bolt slams into the mage's neck, and the mage immediately drops unconscious, staff fizzling out into nothing. At which point, the inky blue-skinned elf, you recognize the ears, begins talking. With your high perception, most of you are able to put this together. His lips are moving in one way. The voice coming out of its mouth is monotonous and not in line with what's coming out of with what his lips are saying. It seems like he has some sort of translator.
Yeah.
He says, "Apologies for the interruption." It's basically like if somebody was using Google Translate. "Apologies for the interruption. We are tonight's entertainment." And all 5 of them point hand crossbows at all of you and says, "Hands on wood and nobody gets hurt. We can do this the easy way or the hard way. Lady Stelmane, you have been an unfriendly..." How does he phrase it? "You have been staying out of communication with our master, and he would like to have a word. Now, you guys can start talking."
Roll initiative?
Do you?
Well,
If you act in an aggressive manner, then yes.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I got this.
Well, I start by putting my hands on the table for a minute and saying...
So I kind of do that, and I look at Lady Stelmane.
I also say, what exactly... Oh, so I'm clarifying.
Oh.
That's the beholder-like creature.
Okay.
So I say, so you're looking to take Stelmane, is that right?
The cloud dagger's right on that thing right now.
The man, which at this point you could probably safely connect, is a drow. Okay.
Yep.
Replies.
Have we heard of or even seen Drow before, or neither?
Not really.
Okay.
They rolled high enough on their nature checks with Dwagar and something else. I forget what it was. Illithids. Thank you.
Yeah.
That you would they would understand the Drow are the dark elves of the Underdark.
Like I wouldn't know.
And I would know that they're dark
Drow is
dwarves, so
like
maybe they're dark elves, so maybe I could put a little bit together.
I'm actually pretty sure that the drawer I mentioned.
The one who seems to be in charge says, "Yes, she needs to have a conversation with our employer."
What happens if we don't let you?
Then this table is about to get very messy very quickly. And he kind of turns his hand crossbow on you, and he says, "We don't have to do this. And despite what you may think, I don't want to do this. I do the job, and I get paid." Oh wait, I totally forgot.
Oh.
Hoss is still looking at Lady Stelmane, waiting for some sort of like.
While he's
cue.
focused, I'm also waiting because while he's focused on him, I kind of want to blast him, but I'm waiting until somebody gives me the go ahead.
Lady Stelmane kind of looks at all of you and says, "I assume your employer would be that tentacled monstrosity that possessed my mind and ran my world for a year. And the drow with a very large brimmed hat and a feather in it, just for clarification. Does anybody know Jarlaxle Bannier from the Forgotten Realms knowledge?
I have no idea who this is.
He's a badass. I have books starring him over on that shelf.
That's a problem.
Well,
no,
he's modeled after.
Yeah, I'm stealing the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jarlaxle would kill you all alone.
Yeah.
This is not Jarlaxle. He just looks like him.
Okay.
Jarlaxle says, "Yes, ma'am. Now, are you going to come quietly, or are things going to have to get messy here?" Lady Stelmane says, "I guess that will depend on my friends here."
And on that word, can you guys give me a wink? Anything?
All right.
Eldritch Blast. And are we going combat, or it's 9:22?
It's 9:22.
Just know.
I am willing to go into combat now, but I assume she needs to go to bed.
She does need to go to bed, and this would be opportunity for Theo to join in next time.
Yes. Oh, and this is a great.
Yeah, I know. For us to get over to.
Hey, by the
Theo's
way.
is already out.
Oh,
By the way. Yeah.
no, I was going to say like, oh, hey, by the way, like this
Roll
is where we
initiative.
are.
Are we rolling for?
We'll roll initiative next game.
Okay. Just that's a great way to dramatically end the session.
I was hoping we'd get to this point. I expected us to actually get through the battle, but I'm glad we didn't because
Yeah,
so many were out.
I kind of.
There's a lot of details.
If everyone's here, this would be great.